click that live that we did last night on the adoptee foster. It was a really good live. What to expect when adopting. Um, we get all the what to expect when expecting, but adoption is a whole nother sector of the family life. And so we talk about that on Tuesdays, but on Wednesdays we're here with the men's forum, and so I'm glad to be back. It's Wednesday, it's the middle of the week. We almost there, y'all. We almost there. Hold on. Well, our pain, he retired. But those who are still working, we're almost there. We're almost there. I booked the trip today, so I'm excited about that. Got me looking forward to that. So I'm glad to be here. Arpane, how are you this evening, sir?
I can't complain. Everything is doing okay. You know, one
Okay.
day after another. A friend of mine's retiring this month too, so we're gonna take him out.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's excited, man. I can't wait to retire. He can't stop talking about it. It's a pain. That last year before you actually retire is, I think people are
Right.
certifiable. You
Yeah.
know, so he's like, it's finally over.
Yeah, as much as you want it to be over, I find that people who are retired also are quick to, do something. They don't want to necessarily just sit around and wither
Oh
away.
yeah. Well, they should have that figured out before they leave.
Right,
I
right.
tell people that, hey, what do you want to do? Make sure you have something, even if it's just exploring. He wants to travel, so
Nice.
it's funny because he retires on, I guess, the end of the month. But that next Monday, he's going to be in Florida, just hanging out on the beach.
See, and that's how you
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. So,
Give yourself some time to enjoy and let it
mhm.
set in while you enjoy the fruits of your labor. So I don't
Yeah,
blame
yeah, he's doing that. So that's cool. Yeah, more power to him.
I don't blame him. Well, congratulations to him. Thank you guys so much again for being here. Definitely hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. Again, we do go live on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. So you will be notified when you hit the bell notification. You'll be notified as soon as a live is created to set your notifications to tune in for when we go live. Okay. Okay. We got worldwide collaborations in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Terika, thank you so much for being here. Love, it's been a while. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Please show your support through the cash app.
Mhm.
Gas is getting high, y'all. All right. I got to go into work every day. All right. Please hit the like button as you come in. And worldwide collaborations. He got some. We jumping in there, okay? From friends to finance. Maybe that's supposed to be fiance. I don't know. The moment y'all leave the friend zone, it's on to divorce. You have always remained friends. That's the only real relationship in this world. As we missed it last night, however, it is still up on the channel, and so you can go back and rewatch it. There's nothing wrong with that. You'll just be part of the replay gang. It's all good. Watch it on your own time. You know what I mean? Don't let me force you to be here on 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday nights. You can definitely watch it on your own time. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. I am doing well. I can't complain at all. Cannot complain at all. I could, but
Nobody's listening. Nobody's listening.
allergic to complaining, right? It's just like you just go on and see another day. How
Mhm.
are you, 3 a.m.? Thank you and welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
What's going on?
what's going
What's up,
on? What's going
Parfait?
on? What's
What's
happening?
happening?
Man?
Another fun night with the
Yeah,
fam.
it should be. We'll see what she got in store.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see what's happening with these
I
videos.
gotta see. I gotta see. Well, speaking of the videos, we're just gonna hop right on into it. Again, hit that like button if you're here. Definitely subscribe to the channel and tune in. I will drop the link for those who want to join. I do have to see your face behind stage. You don't have to have your screen on the entire time, but before I put you up on the stage, I do have to see your face, your entire face. Okay. And if I get some bad VBGBs vibes, just know that you can still watch. You can still engage in the chat. But I don't do disrespect. I don't do any of that. So those are the rules. We'll drop the link a little bit. We will have some more people joining us shortly. So definitely make room on the panel for them, gentlemen. Okay. All right. So this first video that I saw, tonight we're going to talk about, the timing of relationships, friends and relationships and things of that nature. But this first video that I saw is more so um, one of those "Am I the asshole?" videos. I like when people call in or write in or, wanting the general public's advice, because I think it's always funny when people, they really are looking for advice, y'all. They really looking for, someone to tell them what to do in their time of despair. And, I don't knock it. I just say, you got to weed out everything. You got to, discern certain things as well. But we're going to get into this first video, and you guys let me know how you are feeling about this.
Asshole for threatening to call.
Hold on now. StreamYard like to is delay.
Come get my husband's.
Let's start from the beginning.
Am I the asshole for threatening to call CPS to come get my husband's affair baby?
Affair baby? Oh my gosh.
Here we go. I'm 53. My husband is 47. My husband had an affair and I forgave him. Problem. That forgiveness now comes with a love child.
Jeez.
The tramp he cheated with is 22.
Wow.
She dropped the baby off at his job 4 months ago and said, "Here, you have it. I can't do it no more." We have not seen or heard from her since.
Okay.
I allowed the baby to stay so long as I didn't have to do anything. And I mean anything.
Wow.
That's so unrealistic.
It's a guy.
About a month ago, my husband had a heart attack. He's still alive, but is very weak and is incapable of doing anything for himself. Since he can't care for himself, he definitely can't care for an infant. He can't even do drop off and pick up at daycare. I have been helping out, but I'm done. My kids are grown, and I shouldn't have any grandkids anytime soon. I have no desire to care for a baby. I told my husband I want a divorce, and I contacted the tramp's parents.
Wow.
I know the father through some friends. I said that they had until Friday to come get their grandchild, or I was calling CPS.
Wow.
They scolded me for being so cold towards a baby who had done me no harm. I honestly don't care what they think. My husband is recovering, and I'll be moving out soon. I work, and I don't need anything out of this marriage except for myself. My kids tried telling me to stay and help their father. I said, "You're welcome to come over and clean him and the baby."
My God.
Both of them declined. I thought it was a fair offer. I do not feel that I am doing anything wrong, but my husband, our kids, the baby's family, and a few mutual friends think I am. So tell me, am I the asshole? Okay.
So before they get into it, what do you guys think? Is she the asshole for wanting to call CPS on?
You know what? I know it's not her, the lady who was reading it, but she put too much feeling in it, so I'm blaming it on her. You know what I'm saying? She did such a good job. I hate her. Listen.
Wow.
Actually, tell you
She's
the
an
truth.
attorney. She got a, she's
pretty good. Listen,
dramatic.
I don't know if I blame her. I really don't know. I think her demeanor is not proper, but I understand where she's coming from, and I can't blame her. She should try to get the kid over to the grandparents, the blood relatives. If if her husband recovers, he still have some connection to the kid. She wants to divorce him now, but she should have never said she forgave him, because clearly she didn't.
Right, because if you forgive him, you forgive everything.
Right. So clearly she didn't, and sometimes people get that mixed up. So that's not 100% demerit, but I was going to say, especially women now, they say shit, but they don't necessarily mean it. So I'm just saying, I really don't fault her with the overarching story. He can't take care of her. She don't want to take care of the kid. Ain't nothing worse than an unloving person trying to raise a kid.
Oh, yes,
that's horrible. So. So I mean, I think that was easy. I mean, I try to be fair, so I don't really hate her for that. She probably have an ally for me. I would just say she got to have a little better bedside manner.
Okay.
I mean, she obviously didn't forgive the guy. Like, if she bringing that up, and I mean, she has a right to feel the way she feel. But like he just had a heart attack. Like, what are we talking about?
Okay.
All right,
I
okay.
think like okay,
And
well,
That's what I'm
the
trying to say.
the and is have some compassion, lady. Like you don't expect people to have a heart attack while they're trying to raise their kids. That's just something that happens. Like, um, and you know, she talking about getting a divorce. She probably wanted to get a divorce soon as she found out he was cheating on her.
Probably.
right, which
And
is
that's
why.
what she should have did. That's what she should have
Okay,
done.
right. You know, I think that a lot of times women will um, push this false narrative that, oh, I forgive him. You know, and it could have been, you know, thinking that it was a power move. Like, if I forgive him, then, you know, he has to bow to my every word or he has to do everything that I say.
Mhm.
But when you have a child that is a constant reminder of what you say that you're forgiving, if you're not showing that in action, then you don't forgive him. And you know, I think in a lot of states, if a man has a child with someone else, doesn't the wife isn't the wife held responsible for this child in some states? Like,
No, no, it's the opposite.
oh, if
If it's a woman has a kid, if a married woman has a baby, the
mhm,
husband is responsible for the kid. And in some states, even if there's divorce for, I think, 1 day less than a year, if she
mhm.
got pregnant, he's on the hook. In every 50 states, there's a presumption of paternity, which falls on a man. There's no laws out there that favor a woman over a man. I mean, favor a man over a woman in the United States. I want to hear one. I really do.
Yeah. So I guess in this case, you know, she, like I was saying, you know,
She's
she
free to
says that
walk away.
she
She's free to
forgives
walk
him.
away.
Right. She should have just been honest with herself.
Exactly.
She should have
Exactly.
just been honest with herself and said, you know what, this is a bit too much for me. I
Mhm.
don't think I'm going to be able to get past it. Because again, if you forgave that man, then you would take what comes with
With
that.
that, right.
And a lot of women are not built like that. No matter what they say, no matter how they try to slice and dice it, a lot of women are just not built like that because there will be bitterness, there will be the attitudes, there will be the, you know, various arguments about little things that, you know, probably weren't arguments before, but because you have this pent up anger or unaddressed anger, you're not going to get really far in the relationship that you say that you have forgiven someone in.
But you think when you said they're not built like that, but just consider what we're talking about. A lot of women forgive their men for cheating, but there's a caveat. One, you don't embarrass them, you
Mhm.
don't bring home no disease. And the line that's really probably in the sand is don't get nobody else pregnant.
Right.
You
Well, they're,
know, so
they're
so so
built
so
to,
yeah. So I mean, it's not like there's a tolerance level that he just jumped to. He just went right on. He just put it on. He went from 0 to 60.
right.
So at 60, it's over. And she should have never forgave him. She should have never thought, let me acquiesce to this. As a 22-year-old woman, it would have been less painful if she was 30. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? The guy cheated, gave a woman a baby.
Yeah,
It's
because for women, it's emotional. You know what I mean?
I can dig it.
For men, it's like, yeah, I had sex and I produced. You know
Right.
that I naturally that's what my body naturally does. Not saying that you should be all frivolous and willy
Right.
nilly, while you're married, but I'm just saying that a man doesn't attach certain emotions to it like women do, and for her to say that she forgives him is a lie because that's something that you got to go talk to the lady about. It's not, oh, I forgive you, honey, because the emotion in a woman is going to be there. Like you said, women, they're if you're going to do it, yeah, don't bring any diseases. Don't have nobody coming to me, woman as a woman, and don't have nobody just dropping off a baby.
Exactly. But let me not correct one thing, but let me just kind of put one thing where we're comparing apples to apples, right? We said the lady's emotional, sex is emotional, that kind of stuff. The cheating is emotional part. Let me tell you, if a man's wife is cheating on him, he's emotional. He's emotional. He's irrationally emotional. So if we compare both sides, she got cheated on, so she has a right to be emotional about the cheating. But let me tell you, there's no man is like some stoic being. If his honey's out there banging somebody else, he's emotional just like a woman. Not like a woman, but he's emotional. And when men get emotional like that, sometimes it's dangerous.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying that as far as I believe that when men get emotional, they know how to compartmentalize certain things.
Yeah, you're right about that, but not about his woman getting banged out.
Right. But he also
right
probably would say, you know what, I'm out. I'm done. There are some men who will stay, and now the marriage has gone its separate ways and y'all just doing whatever, but you're staying.
Yep.
Right. But men, that's usually a deal breaker for men. Like, I'm out. Right. So for women, they will say that it's a deal breaker, but they also still have their situations and circumstances where they will still stay with the man.
Mm-hmm.
And staying with a man who has a child, who now the child is now in your care, and now your husband can't care for this child that he cheated on you with. That's a lot for a woman. Like, I don't know how a woman can look herself in the mirror and say that she can do it.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. That's why I don't blame them. That's why I don't blame them.
You have to have some type of therapy or aid, emotional, somewhere where you can release emotionally, because women, just based off of our routines and things that we do, we get frustrated at the littlest things. So having a child running around that don't have not an ounce of your blood in their body can be frustrating, and it can be an adjustment emotionally, and you already trying to adjust to your husband having a child, cheating on you, and having a child on you. So I don't think that, I think that when women say, oh no, I forgave him, we're back, and I'm okay with this, I don't think that they're really telling themselves the truth. I think that they just continue to want that fantasy of the relationship, or don't want other people in their business, or don't, like, you know what I mean? They're trying to run away from something that's not going to leave until they really address how they truly feel about it.
Absolutely. I mean, it reminds me of Game of Thrones, right? Caitlin Stark, she hated Jon Snow for his whole life. The hubby brought him home. She hated him. Did you? I don't know if you watched.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
You never seen it either, 3 a.m.?
Mm-mm.
What am I doing on this panel?
No Game of Thrones over here.
That's okay. It's cool. People did get wrapped up in it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. I just never got into it.
I like those kind of shows anyway. So I'm a movie crazed guy. So, and a series like that was right up my alley.
But I think she should have. I think the moment she found out, she should have made her decision right then and there. Like, once she processed it, once she took some time, she should have either been like, okay, I'm going to stay and I'm going to help, or I'm going to leave and that's going to be it. Like, not stay and then help and then, all of a sudden, oh, I want to get a divorce. Like, you should have did that in the first place.
But 3 a.m., let me ask you this. Right? You could make a decision to stay and help, but that's the kind of decision that you have to keep making. Because you're going to have times where just a flashback hits you and you got to make the decision again. I know a woman forgave her whose husband cheated on her, and she gave me an earful and all that. I didn't say what she should do, but she stayed. But it's been like 5 years and she's still making them pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And she in what subtle ways she's making them pay for it, and yeah, maybe it lessened a little bit now, but still, I mean, it's just the way it is. Sometimes forgiveness is one thing, but being able to forget is an impossibility sometimes.
And RPN, you said it. Once you make a decision, you gotta keep making that decision. That is actually the key here.
Mhm.
You gotta keep making a decision. Terrible twos, keep making that decision. Fourth grade, keep making that decision. It is a daily
Yeah,
decision to walk in
mhm.
what you say that you have forgiven,
That's
right?
right.
As a woman that you can't do it because women will know. Women will know that they can't do it. They will know. Okay. Don't let no
Mhm.
woman ever tell y'all, but no, I really thought no.
Yeah.
They will say it out their mouth like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. You
Mhm.
don't.
Exactly.
And they know that they shouldn't, but they
Mhm.
will continue and they will do it and then be like, woe is me. The earth is falling down on me. Everything is happening to me. And it's like, no, you had an opportunity to make a decision. You legit had an opportunity to make the decision. Yes, should you be, sympathetic that he had a heart attack? At the end of the day, this is your husband.
Mhm.
So here I am. You're right. It's like, hello, the man did have a heart attack. It's like, what was that? Was it Diary of a Mad Black Woman? When old boy was treating his wife wrong, and he ended up in a wheelchair, and Christina, Christina's not here, you little whore, packed up clothes and took all your money. It's like one of those situations where it's just like, you have a decision, and you make a decision that that you're going to struggle with, so then everyone can feel sorry for you to get you out of the decision that you had a choice to make in the first place. And so we as women have to be real with those things. If that's not something that you can handle, just be upfront and honest about it. We're all adults. He made a decision that he made, and then the outcome was the outcome, but you also have a decision to make. And you're right, Frank. She picked him. But at the end of the day, I agree with our pain. She picked him. She kept picking him. He picked her. He kept picking her. And so, if you're going to pick each other, you can't necessarily pick apart things about each other. You got to pick the whole person. And the whole person is he made this decision and he did what he did. But if you can't move forward with that decision, then at that point you're not picking him anymore. That is it's simple. You alleviate a lot of the issues down the road, right? Because now you got to find a home for this child. The mom just left. I can't do this anymore. 22-year-old. The grandparents are like, "Why are you calling our phone? We don't know the little thing." And it's like, this is your blood. I wouldn't agree with the child going into CPS because both Leon and I have been in the system, foster care, adopted. So I don't necessarily agree with that. However, if that is what has to happen, I hope that the child is placed with parents who
Mhm.
who give a damn about the child, meaning that I'm choosing, like you said, our pain daily to love this child. But at the end of the day, it is a issue I think that more people go through than not.
Well, you know what, though? Here's what I would give a benefit. Depending on the health of the grandparents, usually I don't think that's probably that big of a deal for them taking them in. I mean, one thing black families do, I believe, is taking illegitimate kids if they're around. I know in my family it's been like that, So I think in a lot of families, the burdens have always been put on aunties and grandmothers and all that kind of stuff. So depending on their health, they might. And I would imagine they have more than just one son, maybe. So they might have got help that way. So so I don't know. I can see them saying, you know what, you got to send them to protective services because we're not going to take our blood in. I really can't see that falling off. I say black people, but I'm not used to seeing black people do that. Unless there's a lot of estrangement.
What?
I'm not used to saying that. I mean, because that's my family, right? I mean, we have so many illegitimate kids in my family. Is it, after Gen X, we have so many and nobody ever went hungry. They all even had college educations, and their mothers only had arrested development. They graduated college maybe 5 years late and all that kind of stuff. And so maybe my anecdotal experience isn't good enough, but all the illegitimate kids in my family had a chance, all of them. So I don't know. Yeah, I thought she froze a little bit over there.
Oh, she wasn't responding.
Yeah, so I said, "Wait, she's giving me the death stare." I'm getting the death stare over here from.
She giving you that poker face.
I said, I was gonna say she froze. She froze a little bit over there.
No, but that
is a experience like a lot of black families just throwing their kids. I mean, your experience is probably it's a lot different than mine. So you went through real stuff.
Because I was adopted, and my family didn't adopt me. Like how some families will keep the adoption in the family, but my situation wasn't like that. But I see what you're saying. Like most grandparents will take in kids that are, part of the family, so they don't get broken up. Because that's really the key, right? Because when you actually get put up for adoption, there's no guarantee or that the family is going to fight for you. So if they don't put up that fight, you could be placed somewhere where
you'll never see anybody in your family.
You never see them again. And so, it varies, right? Like, so, a lot of families don't want to take on that burden. Some families, they just want to live, in their little circle, and they don't want that routine broken up. So it just depends on how how your family dynamic is, and if they're willing to actually take it on.
Once I started saying that, I realized it's probably I don't want to say, but I don't want to say my family is unique. But I know it's not. Maybe it's not as common as I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? But
welcome back.
Are you back? Yeah, you were frozen. And you had the. It
was giving us the poker face.
Yeah. It was like, oh man, I said, what did I say wrong?
I don't know what happened. My internet just went out and then it came back.
What's up, Coach?
What's up, Coach?
Hey, Coach Ferg,
how y'all good people doing? What's up, Precious? How y'all doing, man?
All right.
Good.
This is gonna be interesting and knocked all of my
Is it raining where you are? Because it's raining here.
Maybe it's
going down.
You're in Maryland
over here. Yeah.
I'm sure it's not too far away, but I'm like, hold on now. Now I'm scared every time I look up. I don't know.
No, everything looks good now. But maybe it's on what you're looking at your controls, but we hear you and all that kind of stuff.
Everything just went to loading and then it just left.
Yeah. Well,
I figured you wasn't saying nothing.
No, I don't have the Obama Wi-Fi, and that it's crazy with Wi-Fi and all the things you pay for. It's like you pay, and then over time, it's just like, how am I paying like $50 over than what I started? Like, ain't nothing changed.
Don't be talking about my man Obama. That's
all right, so I know that Coach Ferg didn't see that video, but we're gonna move on because I don't know how
Okay. What's next?
Yeah, move on.
What's next?
So I have this, and before we get into it, I saw a couple of videos about women being hard to get or playing hard to get, and so I came across this video, but I came across another video. But before we get to the second video, I want you guys to give your reaction to this video, and we'll see if what you said stands true for the video that follows.
Okay.
Why did you pop?
I mean, you're a great guy. There's no reason.
What?
She don't like what he got on.
You don't know why?
You're an indecisive woman.
Oh shit! Hold on, Unc. What you got going on?
I could tell. Are you?
Yeah.
I like that. You got to have patience for an indecisive woman.
Ooh, Hey, I see you, huh?
I mean,
Don't look at me with them.
but I'm saying that was you hurt? Was you hurt in the past? That's why you indecisive.
Yeah.
I could tell. You don't want your balloon back?
Damn.
You don't want your balloon?
I do. I want my balloon back. Yeah.
Can I have a balloon, please? She can't pop her balloon.
Okay, is this a match?
Yes.
Yes.
Get your girl.
This is a hunting date.
What we talking
That
about?
was a master class, huh? These
Yeah.
young niggas be talking about applying pressure, but you showed them how to apply pressure, but with finesse. Woo-hoo. Hey, you got it.
So did he apply pressure with finesse, or did he make her think something that she wasn't necessarily thinking, or go along with something that she wasn't trying to go along with in the first place?
Go ask the light-skinned lover boy down there.
I bet you ain't shit. Listen, man, shout out to Gen X, man. He instead of him panicking about it, he just tapped in. He looked us straight in the eye. And you can tell a lot about a person when you look him in there. And he spoke to her, looking her in the eye. You see how she, you know, so, and I think that's a lost art that guys don't understand.
Oh, yeah.
Because they sisters been telling them they ain't shit all their life. They cousins, they be around black women all their life. And when you see your peer, a woman that you might find attractive, she was nice to be I think she could be in her late 40s, 50s. She had a nice body, but again, it comes down to what she may have been through, the confidence that she exudes, and he was able to tap into it without panicking just because she about popped the balloon. But I will say this, the other women picked up on the fact that she was feeling him. So they knew they didn't have a chance and, you know, bow out.
Yeah, that's what
you know what I'm saying? So salute to both of them because she didn't allow her fears to stop her from getting to know a guy they could possibly.
Can I correct you? He didn't let her allow her fears.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah,
he did not let her. Usually that was her defense mechanism.
Yeah,
and he saw right through it.
Yeah,
he saw right through it, and impressed her because she knew what she was doing. If he backs off, you know, then I'm saved. And he said, no, wait a minute. Yeah. You know,
come here, you. That's all he did was come here. You think you running? Exactly. You think you running from his 6'5"? Come here.
I'm your dream guy. You know what I'm saying? Next time you gonna see a guy,
don't look at me in the eye every time.
Oh yeah, he was.
And she got to look up. Come on.
And it's weird because at that age, it's like you popped, and when they ask you why you popped, you say you don't know. What do you know at this age coming on this popping balloon
show? She was intimidated by my man.
She self-precious. That's the mindset of a modern woman.
Well, she like you said, she's 40s.
Modern woman. I don't know why I popped. Maybe because I don't know. Come here. I'm gonna show you why you popped that balloon.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, you got it. Come here. You gotta do it deliberate. Come here. I used to do it all the time. Come here. If they hit you with the then you just roll with it.
There you go. See?
All right. So before we get into the full conversation, I want to play this video, and then we'll talk about it as a whole.
Play hard to get.
Hold on.
Oh my God. Shit.
This dude hilarious.
This dude. Wow.
Right, so we know he has a Pop the Balloon show as well. He does it for like the senior edition. He does it for those who, you know, are middle-aged adults as well. Versus wigs, and he has this round table discussion ever so often.
I didn't know he went that far.
Wow. Might be, yeah. He wears the wigs.
Because he was on the original show too, right? I mean, he was on that show.
He was on one of them shows.
He was on the original Pop the Balloon show.
Don't play hard to get. Thought it was going to be a fight. Hello there.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh.
If he wanted to, he would. You know, if
I
you're
agree
really
with that.
interested
Yeah,
in a
we just
woman, then
debated
you'll keep going.
No, not in today's society. In the Me Too society, if you say no, no means no, right, ladies? Yeah. So if you tell me no once, I respect you enough because of the history. I'm backing off. I'm backing off. I'm backing off. If you tell me no the first time, I respect you enough to take that.
You know
I
what?
do.
Maybe I changed sides. Maybe you shouldn't play
I
hard
love
to
you,
get.
girl. I love you, girl. I love you. All right. You're good. You're good. Yeah. Yeah.
Here you go.
All right.
So based upon the two videos, right? You have one kind of guy that is like, you don't know why you popped, but you know you like me. You know, there's something here. And then you have another video where a guy is like, if a woman says no, she popped that balloon, that's it. That's all. I'm not trying to, go any further, because in today's society and in today's environment, dating environment, it takes one wrong move or one wrong statement, recording, it's out on, so whatever the case may be, and I'm out of there. I'm done. Society's gonna look at me like I did something wrong. So as a man, how do you guys kind of teeter that, walk that fine line of, let me try a little harder, versus if she says no or she's not, feeling me? Because you heard the woman say, well, if he wanted to, he would. But then you have men who are like, I've wanted to plenty of times and it got misconstrued as something else.
Somebody say they not feeling me. Okay, have a nice day. Like, I'm not, I don't want you trying to make a scene. I don't want you recording. If I like somebody and she not feeling me, okay, I go to the next. It's not. We used to getting rejected. Like, that's been our life. Like, the woman that wants to be with you, you'll know it. And sometimes, when you talk to people, like when you're out, sometimes you just like to talk to people. You don't have to get their number. You could just have a conversation.
Yeah.
It just depends on the vibe that the person is giving.
Yeah,
okay. So if you was the guy in the pop the balloon, you wouldn't have questioned her pop. You would have just been like, okay.
No.
I think a lot of stuff is circumstantial. I mean, you got to read the room. Like, he's not. When a no to something physical is easy, right? That's enough. But a no from a conversation where that was coming from, that I didn't see any way to retreat. So, I mean, I know we're comparing those two things. When the guy said, if a woman told me no, was he just talking about whether, what does a woman tell you? Like, can I have your number? No. Well, I probably won't ask again, right? I'm not going to beg you. But in the Pop the Balloon show, we know why they're both there. So and I think it was obvious that she popped the balloon, but it wasn't because she didn't like the guy, or else she would have came out and said, I don't like you. Or I don't, I can't see. He saw the fumble. He saw her fumble.
So guys,
he challenged the fumble.
Would a man rather you not know what you want but like him?
Say that again.
Would a man rather? It seems as though in that case, the man was okay with her not knowing what she wants, but I don't know. Was he attractive enough to? Was he okay with her not knowing what she wants, and he take the leader position?
I think
maybe he did mental gymnastics. Maybe he used to that.
No,
maybe
not only that though. 3M. I think the man, she might not have. It's not like he didn't pick up the vibe that she didn't like him. She was having trouble with the situation. And so he challenged the situation. He looked at her, because she didn't give him a vibe that, she's throwing up in the back of her throat, So he said, okay, I'll say the next thing. And he took a chance. And even if it didn't go well, there's no harm done in what he tried to do. right? It was no harm done. It wasn't like he was trying to force her to do something or grabbing her or anything like that. So I wouldn't think I'd be afraid of Me Too in that situation, right? And it turns out he was right. She was holding his hand and everything on the way out.
Well, and he, he's probably used to that. He's probably used to trying to challenge women, and he probably likes that. But
Yeah, maybe.
For a person like me, if somebody tells me no, no is no. Like, I'm okay. Have a nice day.
Man, that's crazy.
I want to make for good conversation. Hey, Frank.
What's going on,
brother?
Frank? What's happening, man?
I say it's what's
good,
up, Frank?
John? What's good? What's good?
What's up with you, man? Dad gang. Salute to you, man. I say it's crazy because this past Saturday, I went to a college graduation. My nephew graduated college, right? Salute to him.
Congrats.
And after the graduation, I went to sit down on this stone bench. I'm sitting out there under the shade tree. Two women and it might have been a teenager, looked like an older teenager. They walk up, excuse me, can I sit down on this bench? The first thing out of my mouth was like, no, y'all can't sit here. Well, we gonna sit here anyway. And I said, well, have a sit on down there and let's sit under the shade tree. And we talking. She's married. Well, she's widowed now. The husband just passed away, sons. And you know what I'm saying? And I could have just, but I'm past all that. If I was single, hey. But I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was talking to her just about, trying to, heal herself because she, you know what I'm saying, and just think she can probably do, you know what I'm saying, incorporate the family and things like that and talking to her. And we was just vibing back and forth for about 15, 20 minutes. She got up. I don't know if she was trying to give me a signal like, nigga, hey, I'm like, she said bye 14 times in 10 steps. I'm like, okay, see you later. I'm like, let me get ready. But these things, you know what I'm saying? I can see conversations spilling over from YouTube to real life. However, in reality, people respond to how you speak to them. Y'all know black people, we ain't backing down we fighting lions and tigers and shit. We ain't backing down because you know what I'm saying? So just to think that, so just because somebody say no, then it's gonna be all this big thing. I accept my ugly. Most people don't accept they ugly. Because every woman ain't gonna like a light skin with bald head. I know that. And I'm not gonna get mad if I shoot my shot and they be like, no, it's okay. Okay, cool.
But I have
you might
seen
see
guys,
me next week.
I have seen guys in public, like call women out their name just because they can't get their number.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like that's not even necessary. Like if she say no, just move on. Like there's plenty out there.
Yes, it is. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. And she will see you again. Just make sure you outside next time. You fresh and clean. You got that smell good on. You got, you know what I'm saying? Make her talk to you. Then act like you don't even see her. Do I know you? Yeah. I don't remember.
Why are you talking to me?
Talk to me.
Videos?
What you say?
Did you see both of the videos?
I didn't get to see both. I was trying to watch. That's what I was over here doing when I first got on. I was like, let me see what the hell they talk about.
I can replay it for you. It's fine.
All right, bet.
Why did you pop?
You're a great guy. There's no reason.
What? You popped a balloon and you don't know why?
You're an indecisive woman.
Oh shit, hold on, Unc. What you got going on?
I could tell, are you?
Yeah.
I like that. You gotta have patience for an indecisive woman.
Ooh. Hey, I see you, Unc.
I mean,
Don't look at me with them.
but I'm saying that was you hurt in the past? That's why you're indecisive.
Yeah.
I could tell. You don't want your balloon back?
Damn.
You don't want your balloon?
I do. I want my balloon back. Yeah.
Can I have a balloon, please? She can't pop her balloon.
Okay, is this a match?
Yes.
Yes.
I could get your girl. Yes.
That was a master class, huh? These young niggas be talking about applying pressure, but you showed them how to apply pressure, but with finesse. Woo-hoo.
Right.
Hey, you got it.
Facts.
So we have that video, but then we have a video of a guy who was on the original Pop the Balloon show, created his own show, and this is what he has to say about women playing hard to get.
Man, it was more
Play
courage
hard to
on that.
get.
Oh man, jeez.
I'm for real.
Thought it was going to be a fight. Hello there.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh.
If he wanted to, he would. You know, if
I
you're
agree
really
with that.
interested
Yeah,
in a
we just
woman, then
debated
you'll
that.
keep going.
No, not in today's society. In the Me Too society, if you say no, no means no, right, ladies? Yeah. So if you tell me no once, I respect you enough because of the history. I'm backing off. I'm backing off. I'm backing off. If you tell me no the first time, I respect you enough to take that.
You know
I
what?
do.
Maybe I changed sides. Maybe you shouldn't play
I
hard
love
to
you,
get.
girl. I love you, girl. I love you. All right. You're good. You're good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Frank.
What's your question for me? What's your question for me?
So I was asking, what is the line that men walk when it's time to, date women or, approach women? Are you taking no as a first answer? Or are you more so like the first guy where it's just like, I see something else going on there? I don't know. I don't know. It's indecisiveness.
No, I think I think most of the time, I think it depends on the setting, to be honest. All right, so that I'll say that because when we used to be out here, right, we used to be in the clubs and doing all those things. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you will see a girl in the beginning, while when you first walking in, y'all chilling, whatever, everybody just vibing. And you might try to holler at her a little bit. You walk back by like, hey, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like you just in there like grabbing her and, hey, come here, like you being subtle about it. Hey, what's good? Like, come on, I see you keep looking at me. What's up? So you just having a good time, and you just trying to go for it. But it depends on how and it also depends on how she turn you down. Like what when hey, that you said at 3 a.m. said he, dudes would be like, yeah, like, what I'm saying, yo, how you doing? And she'd be like, no, you'd be like, well, you wasn't cute anyway. I didn't see some women, you dudes try to walk behind them in the club, try to get up on him, try to dance. She turn around, hand all in his face. Then she be, you know what I'm saying? I see girls be like, boy, you think you cute enough to holler at me? I'm like, damn. If she turn you down like that, bro, you gotta just chuck the deuces and walk away. You know what I'm saying? But there's times that you can, right?
And what you tell them about? Are you cute? Yeah,
But there's times that a woman will give you, those signals where she kind of playing. You can tell she playing hard to get, and you will be a little persistent. You just not gonna come off crazy and just overdo it.
Okay. I think the first guy, remember when Jill Scott said, if you could tell me what to do, then you could tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do. And it seemed like in the first situation, it was that was the connotation to me. It was like, this is a man that likes me, that is into me, and he could see through my little charade right now. See through, me trying to, and I don't know if that's even playing hard to get because, the answer of I don't know. I just feel like it came out left field. Like she not that she really didn't know what to say, but she really didn't know. Like, and I think that's
hard to get.
It's comical being that you're at a show where you have more than ample amount of time to know if you like this person, whether he's talking to you or talking to how he's interacting with everybody. For her to say that, but he pinpointed probably I would say probably a flaw in her, right? He pinpointed like you're indecisive or you've been hurt before. But I mean, I think any man that comes to a woman and say you've been hurt before, it'd probably be the truth. Like, you know,
Right.
I can't really, I think that's a fair and a safe pickup line. Like, oh, you
That's not a rocket
But-
scientist
yeah,
idea
like,
either,
you know what I
you
mean?
know?
Unless the girl has been living under a rock, you know, she looks like she's of a certain age. So, yeah, she's been hurt before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that he was smooth with it for, you know, the age group, whereas the second video, it was more so, look, the time and day, age we live in, if a woman tells me no, I'm not going to line, I'm not going to try and get into her past, I'm not going to try and get in where I fit in. I'm just going to keep it moving.
But
And that, you know, I think that definitely affects because back in the day, men, I can say back in the day, men, they would approach you. Like, men, it was not there was, the Me Too movement wasn't as rampant as it is now. And, you know, the men with confidence, they would approach you, flirt with you, they would, you know, play with you. Like, it just would be like, all right, like, geez, stop. You know, like, but you could tell that that was his playfulness, and that's how he, you know, showed that. Nowadays, men aren't like that, you know.
Yeah.
And I can understand why, because women are just so fickle nowadays.
Mhm.
Back in the day, women would play with you too. They would, you know, they would go along with it. But nowadays, women just, you know, they act untouchable, and so the man feel as though he doesn't have that reach towards them because of how serious everything has to be.
Well, a big part of that is the "Don't Approach Me" movement. And if you don't know what that is, that's the girls that was making videos. If I'm at the library, don't approach me. If I'm at the grocery store, don't approach me. If I'm at the mall shopping with my homegirls, don't approach me. If I'm in the club, don't approach me. You know, like, that's what that comes from. And so, no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying there was a lot of women saying, like, you know, when I'm in the grocery store, I'm not looking to get hollered at. Well, I wasn't coming to the grocery store to holler at you. I came in here to look for some for some turkey neck for this turkey neck boil, and you know, I didn't came in here for that. Some corn on the cob, some potatoes, and I looked over and I saw you, and I just wanted to come. Hey, I wanted to come say hello, but you know, the women were, well, I didn't come here for that. I came here for, and so that's what it turned into. And it's like, well, I don't go to school to meet a man. Okay, you don't, but I see you and you're beautiful, and I want to say hello. Like this, whether it's before class, after class, like, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. And so once that, I feel like once those type of movements started to take off, it took the air out of the sails. You know what I'm saying? And then just not only that too, it's also the thing where if that was an ugly dude that she didn't like right there, she would have felt repulsed. But a part of me just felt like she popped her balloon so she can exclude herself, so she could save her. Like, you know how some people try to save themselves the embarrassment, right? And he didn't even have to embarrass her. But I've seen on pop the balloon shows where girls would just pop the balloon and be like, well, you know, there's a couple other girls right here, just because. And then you know, on the other one, Arlette be like, yo, like, why are you just ruling yourself out? Oh, like, I don't know. It's just like that self-esteem part of that, where they just like, well, okay, there's three of us, only one of us is gonna get him. I think he's attractive, but I'm gonna take myself out of the competition and save face. And I think that happens a lot on those shows.
Yeah, there was a few months ago, there was a woman, the guy was taking her out on a date, and he told her to be at a certain place at a certain time. She was late.
Right.
And she started recording old boy.
Oh yeah.
And he took her, I think he wanted to take her to Cheesecake Factory. And she said, I don't do Cheesecake Factory.
That's an old one.
Oh yeah, that's an old one. That's the one where she made him wait in the car for an hour.
Yeah. But she wouldn't have to go to Cheesecake Factory if she actually was following his lead and actually doing what he asked her to do, which was to be meet me on time so we can go. I want to take you someplace. She didn't know where they were going, but if you're gonna go on a date, at least be ready when I say be ready.
Yeah, but right, you're right, 3M. But that date should have been over right then and there.
For sure.
But
Absolutely.
the guys, the guys placate women a lot on things like that. I wouldn't have had no tolerance for that.
I would have been gone.
I wouldn't have no
For sure.
tolerance for
I'm
that.
not waiting no hour.
You know,
You crazy.
I mean, and that's the thing.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's not like I'm some kind of, I never fancied myself some kind of Casanova, even when I was halfway decent looking. But I just couldn't let people play games with me like that. It
Right.
was crazy. And so well, that was back in the day. Well, no. I would be the same. I would be the same way right now. I mean,
I'd be
it's
worse,
crazy.
Arpane. If I was single today, I'd be worse.
Yeah,
I'd
maybe.
be worse. I'd be worse. I know me. I'm glad I got off the streets.
Yeah.
I think
But the point really is men should be more like what we're saying, and that's why we have so much problem in the pool.
Yeah.
Men keep trying to swim with the sharks, man. If you don't like shark meat, man, you got to repel them, and that kind of stuff. But men, we got that scarcity mindset. If I don't get this one woman, my life is over.
Mhm.
So I'm willing to do anything, and
Yeah.
and that's a mistake.
But
That's part of the teaching, though. That's part of the teaching what men have been taught since they gave us my favorite generation. That's part of the ideology. Most men today put the woman first. They listen to those songs mama's playing. They listen to aunties telling them, you know what I'm saying? So I think we saw a great example with the first video with the one I saw with the tall guy,
Mhm.
right? Women act a certain way to the guys they don't like compared to the guys they like. If you got that build, they gotta look up to you, and you got that little tone in your voice, and you looking them in the eye. They getting moist, and fingers get to sweating, and
That's the
toes
word. That's the word voice. Okay.
toes get to slipping in their peep toe shoes, and underarms get to getting musty. But again, you're talking to Frank. You hear around here when you said women disqualify themselves, right? Because most women are not confident in who they are. She's not confident, and instead of saying I'm just not confident, they will intentionally do something to disqualify themselves just because.
Right.
But then they'll be complaining about men ain't shit the next day when you are in a position to probably meet a good guy, but he's not giving you that excitement. You know what I'm saying? He's not talking to you aggressively. Hey, come here. Get your broom back. Okay, I'll get it back.
Hey, look though.
masculinity in action. It was that was masculinity in action. It wasn't like he did anything by force. He didn't, belittle her. He didn't, use that flaw of not knowing what she wants against her. He leaned into it, and made an avenue for himself to say, I ain't a doctor or nothing, but I mean, we could go on a date just to see, what I mean? He didn't disqualify himself, and I think that that's the difference between men and women. A lot of, I think a lot of men disqualify themselves too, and I don't think that should be the case.
Of course.
I think that happens as well on the woman's watch as on the man's watch. But in that case, he didn't he didn't make a way of escape, but he also wasn't holding her by force. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't trying to let her go, but it wasn't like, I'm this creepy, guy. Now, hopefully that's one of the ones where they have the updates, and hopefully it's a good story and not a horror story when, Gillette or what's her name?
Arlette.
Arlette and her husband, because I just saw one that they did a follow up
That was a horror story.
Not a good match. Like
Yeah,
it was not good. And at the end, excuse me, what I concluded from it was the woman wasn't being honest. Like, you know, it is one of the things where the woman, she said to him, you know, you're not necessarily my type, but no, with women, you can't reinvent the wheel. You know, you either like them or you don't. And men know when you like them or when you don't, because like he said, when they were in their dating weeks or whatever, it was interrogation, and it's like, yes, ask the questions, get the answers that you're looking for, but don't with the innuendos and the little micro, you know, comments. Men can feel that. Men can feel when you're not that into them, you know, because you're not acting that way. You're acting like you're more so against them than into them. And so hopefully, you know, this update, because I'm sure they would probably do an update on these two. Who knows? Hopefully it's a good one.
Do they I don't know if they do the updates on that channel. I haven't seen any yet. Okay. I'm gonna check it out. But y'all made me think of two things. Number one, guys might rule themselves out or take themselves out of the running, but more times than not, a dude will try to stay there all the way through. Because we understand that we have to compete with other men to get you. Like most dudes understand that, right? In my opinion, it like on the other side though, if you say like, yo, are you willing to compete for your man? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you knew that it was you and say two other girls, because he just didn't know yet, or he just met y'all, whatever the case may be, y'all met him the same night. You know what I'm saying? Most girls will be like, I ain't competing. And they just say, like, you know, even if no matter how much they like them, and even though it's not in the same sense of, you know, oh no, we about to play a game of football and tic-tac-toe, and if I win 3 out of 5 times, I'm gonna win them. Just making yourself stand out, sending them a good morning text, how you doing, checking up on them, something like that. That right there is something that'll make you stand out, where he'll be like, hey, hold up, nah, I'm not even rocking with them like that. Hold up, like, I'm getting rid of them because this woman is actually giving me some attention. She giving me the vibe or the aura that I feel like I want, that I feel like I need, and so that's her. But most women, when they hear competition, they think, oh, well, yeah, we're gonna have to play paper, rock, scissors, and I ain't about to do that shit for no man, right? And then the second,
go ahead.
I was gonna and then the second thing is, Payne, like you said, you know, something you said along the lines of like, some guys be like, man, I might feel like that's the only girl. I mean, in the day that we're in now, most dudes find most matches are made online. And so if a guy have to swipe, you know, 200 times, like 200 times before he gets 5 likes or whatever the case or 5 matches, and then he barely has a chance to actually go on a date with one of those 5, he like, hold on, like, don't go nowhere. I don't want to go back. Now I gotta get back on this damn app. I gotta swipe another 200 and 205 times, and now I'm gonna have to, and hopefully I get to the date on this next one. You know what I'm saying? And so I do think a lot of guys are like, hold the hell up. You know what I mean? So I can feel
that. They gotta go outside. Yeah, they gotta go outside.
You cannot horizons. You know, with the whole online thing, like, yes, it's real people, but you know, to me, it's not real until we in real life. Like, that's how I feel. Like, it's not real until I can experience you in real life, same air, same, like, you know what I mean, face to face. Because people just hide behind any and everything online, you know, and we see that. We react to a lot of these videos where, you know, look at Cheyenne Bryant, you know, like, you could just say whatever online to get whatever you are trying to acquire.
Don't talk about the good doctor.
I'm just saying. I'm sure that, you know, her facade was very beneficial for her in a lot of different avenues. And it's not until you're in real life with this person until you can really, you know, have an account for an experience. You know what I mean? The swiping, like, to me, I just think that that's just, I mean, it's a way, it's an avenue to meet someone, but I think that you're not really going to get what you're looking for out of that experience because it's a very low effort experience, you know? I agree with sir when you say that, you know, women don't necessarily want to compete. But if we're going to be honest, if we're going to be real, women only really compete for the men that they truly like. If it is, if you're less than that, and you know, of course women have they want the 6 foot and the 6 inches and all that, all those things, right? But again, to me, that's a internet made man too. Like, to me, it's real. There are these men walking around on the earth, but this is internet made man. We got to deal with the realistic, normal 9-to-5ers, you know, not necessarily making 6 figures and things like that. A woman has to truly, because a woman can get on these Kendra G show, oh, he gotta make 6 figures. But if you really like this man and he's only making $60,000-$70,000, you're going to go with it. You're going to go with the $60,000-$70,000 man.
Trust me, that's internet talk
for the 6 figures.
That's internet talk. Trust me,
for sure.
Yeah,
they are not meeting those kind of guys, and they are not like that. Especially when they got 3 or 4 different baby daddies and they got 6 kids. Come on, let's be honest.
But then those would be the women who want the 6 foot and all of that, but don't want to compete. That's what I'm saying. They don't want to compete, and it's like,
right,
you're trying to, you know, believe in your heart of hearts that you're going to get this 1% of a man. And I'm not trying to knock nobody's dreams and hopes, you know, but let's be realistic. You know, who's around you, who's in your environment, or, you know, do you even go out to meet people? Do you put yourself in those settings? So, you know, I think that, you know, women have to be honest with it. And I honestly don't think that women should waste time with a man that she really don't like. Like, I honestly, I think that a woman should have that experience of really liking a man and a man liking her, so you can honestly, truly see where it goes, and not let's just, you know, talk and go with the flow and things of that nature. No, I think that you should have an experience of being with someone that you truly like.
Welcome back, Coach.
Men and women.
I had that conversation myself about, back in my day, women wouldn't go out with you if they didn't like you. You couldn't take them on a foodie date. You know, foodie dates didn't really exist. If they didn't like you, no, I'm not taking you out. So don't waste your time, don't waste your money. You ain't my guy. So there's no first base in that. And that's cool. You know, you just move on and you have a different kind of relationship. Well, today that's not really true. The women are sitting across, you know, men are taking women out they don't like because they might want to just smash. But women are going out with guys and giving them false hope, you know, and just for a dinner, and then ghost them afterwards. So, I mean, the bull is just so bad. I'm just so glad I ain't in that whole mix. But that's what you have to ferret out. Like I said before, I'm gonna land it here. If I was dating today and I saw a woman that I liked and she gave me some vibe, I would ask her out. But I said, this first date is Dutch. This way, we don't have no expectation. One, you know, I want to know whether you like me enough to go out with me when those money is on the line. That's one. And two, I don't want you thinking just because I bought you some steak, I'm supposed to get a little juicy ride later on. So if you pay for you, and I'll let you pick the restaurant. And I would think that would ferret out, because if she says, nah, if you ain't paying, I ain't going. Well, to me, she didn't like me that much. That's what I would say. She didn't like me that much. You know? So.
A lot of it's just internet talk. I mean, people are sort of adapting these ideologies, but my son's 23. He ain't getting asked how much money you get. He ain't getting asked, take me out. I'm trying.
I don't think he would in that age range, though.
But what
I don't think he would.
But again, everybody in their 40s should at least have some money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, most people on YouTube done already been slapped through life. They got a story they can tell you about the baby mama, baby daddy, married, divorced, the girlfriend. Everybody got a story. So we hear it all the time. We try to. It ain't never none of us on the panel. Shout out to Rick. Not me. I make $100,000, but I've been here all day since 9 o'clock. Makes no sense to me. But I mean, I think if people be real with themselves and just accept, like I say, when you accept your ugly, it's the most fulfilling thing you can do. Yeah, believe it or not, in my prime, all the girls didn't like me. When I had hair and muscles everywhere, chest sticking out, I could dance. You know what I'm saying? I had a little rhythm. Man, every woman didn't say, okay. And that's part of just the learning curve as a man. But I guess when you have the early experiences, you know what I'm saying? And then when I don't know, man. I appreciate, the more I come on YouTube, the more I appreciate my mother in telling me about women. You don't run behind a woman. If she likes you, she'll come to where you are. She's not going to shame you in public. And my father, he told me, well, he was different. My father had green eyes and shit. I bring a girl around, they want to get with my daddy. So it was just different. But my daddy raised 5 girls. None of them were pregnant before getting out on their own. None of, most of my sisters are married. 4 out of the 5. The other, you know what I'm saying? But I say all to say because I'm not going to take our Pain's Bad experience and attach it to myself, and I ain't even lived it.
Right.
I got to go through that. And we swear we black and we Christians and we know the Bibles, but don't it say, I could have sworn, maybe I'm wrong. I'm slow sometimes. I went to public school. I paid with the private school, Catholic school. Finding a wife is one of the hardest things a man could ever do. We can fight, we can box, but to find that good woman for me, that shit is difficult. I can't do it because Precious, 10 girls told me no. The ones I like them slim, thick, with the big booties and the breasts and the fake white girl hair and shit. They keep telling me no, Precious. I don't want a dark-skinned woman because my kids is going to be ugly. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I got to go. I don't know what to do. But again, when you love yourself and accept your ugly, you can find somebody just as ugly as you and make beautiful kids.
Yeah, but it's hard on the mirrors there, Coach. It's hard on the mirrors.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, why go through all that looking for validation for people who, I guess, y'all not related to me, so I shouldn't need y'all to tell me I'm handsome, I'm smart. No, if my mom and daddy, the closest people, can tell me, then that's good enough for me when I come to the world.
Hey, no, it ain't.
Yes, it is.
Hey, no, the hell it ain't. Because, you know why I'm gonna say it ain't? Because this is what happened. This is what happened. Mama, oh yeah, my baby beautiful, right? Now, but when you go to approach them women and they turn it down, then you realize real quick where you actually fall in this world. I'm not saying your mom shouldn't tell you that you're a handsome kid or you're her handsome son or whatever, right? But or your dad say, my little girl, she beautiful. I'm just saying though, on the opposite side, like people will be like, damn, are they lying to me?
No.
Are they lying? Because every time I try to talk to a girl, they be turning away from me. Like, am I ugly? Let me look in this mirror.
Looks go way beyond just the physical. You can't be a man who know that you know.
Precious, can we put an age on that? Can we put an age? Can we put an age on the physical? We have to put an age on the physical.
Because people look at the physical it's the first thing.
They do look at the physical, first thing. but that's not the only thing that makes you you, right? So I think that, you know, while your parents are giving you these compliments and things of that nature, your parents help you with your self-esteem, but maybe they're not helping you in the correct manner with your self-esteem. Maybe they should not only be telling you that you're handsome, but that you're great at this and you're creative at this, and let me get this more for you because I know that you enjoy this. Your beauty comes from your whole makeup, and women can see when a man doesn't think that he's handsome. A woman can pick up on when he's not confident in who he is as a man.
For
you know,
sure.
you have men whose mom has been telling you, oh, you're you know, handsome, you fly, you look good, you think whatever. However, moms do that with sons. I don't know. I don't have a son. You know, so and
talk about them.
and then you have the sons go out like, oh no, my mom said I'm fly. My mom said I'm, and so no woman that comes in their face and say that they ugly, they don't believe that woman. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that while your family can tell you about your exterior, they also have to feed your interior so that it exudes out of your exterior as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, more than just looking at a man's face.
Yeah, of course.
Or, you know, height or whatever the case may be.
No, I get it. I get it. I get it, and I agree with that. I was just saying that, like, so like so like in elementary school. I like right, but mama, I mean, and I always had like nice eyes, so like that was like the main compliment. It's like, oh, you got some nice eyes, right? And that's but like my mom and like the older ladies would always be like, he's a handsome kid. The girls my age, they was looking at Barry, Mike, Tony. I'm like, damn, hold up, what's up with me?
Yeah.
But when I got to the 6th grade and all the little Mexican honeys start trying to holler at your boy, then I was like, okay,
that was your time. Don't rush your time.
No, I'm just saying. I was loving girls since I was like in the 2nd grade. So I was
but still, don't rush your time. Like, there's a time and season for everything and everyone. Okay,
you don't know what I'm saying. She don't understand because she been getting hollered at since daycare.
It wasn't my time for a long time either. I had to to my femininity and my looks and things of that nature. Like, my parents were strict. I didn't even know my body size until I got was graduating high school, going to college.
Wearing baggy clothes,
basketball swishies all day and night. You know, I think that's part of everyone's. You know, there are men and women who have been gorgeous their entire life. You know, that there are. Well, I wasn't one of them. Like, contrary to which I might think, I wasn't one of them. Okay, and so it took a while, and so, you know, that's okay. That's part of you loving yourself. Like, imagine when you get to that point of can't nobody tell me nothing. You know, that type of attitude. You know, you factor in them years when they was passing you by. You factor in, don't let it hurt you. Just allow it to fuel, you know, getting in that gym and pumping that iron and going for them runs and, you know, doing all the things that y'all do, because y'all know y'all got to come with more than just your,
what are you talking about?
Mama told me I was cute. That's all I know.
My mama told me I was ugly. She said, get your little ugly ass on the outside. My sisters told me I was ugly. Go on, ugly. That's part of the black culture. We all ugly as kids.
That's because you light. That's because you light skin. They couldn't fill your head up. 3 a.m. probably. No, 3 a.m. probably had the same experience.
But that's part of this iron sharpening. My daddy called me ugly. Get your little ugly ass and look just. You know what I'm saying? I guess it just comes down to the environment. Growing up where you outside every day, people are outside. You ugly. Girls always called us ugly in elementary. Then about a 9th grade, they over trying to fill on you in the class.
Right.
So it's just part of the growing stigma. I mean, I pain to tell you how he was a player back in the 60s and 70s.
My parents were going around saying, "I'm sorry." They were just saying, I'm sorry, son.
What?
I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, see, that's what happens with you, Eric Benet looking dudes over here, man.
No.
They had to tell y'all was ugly, man, because y'all was getting all the ladies, man.
No, man, that wasn't
They had
like
to tell y'all was ugly, man.
No, man, that was a
See,
dude with the pretty Ricky hair, man.
dark skinned dudes wasn't in yet. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Y'all was still in. Tyrese came out, then we blew up. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. And we took over after that.
Tyrese, hold up, man. Tyrese changed the game for y'all.
Yeah, Tyrese changed the game. He can't keep a woman, but he changed the game.
Yeah, once he had that was that Coca-Cola commercial. Once that came out, Chocolate Brothers was in.
Oh my
man, y'all silly.
That's funny, man. Yeah.
I can't. All right, we're gonna move on to this next video. So I'm not fully familiar with this content creator. You guys may know who he is. He's married to a woman. Her name is Cinnamon, and they're going through a little bit of relational issues, and it kind of, for lack of better words, it burst on this podcast here. But I want to see how you guys are seeing this and what your perspective on the video is.
But we don't communicate at all.
I mean, technically, that was just a communication.
To y'all. He's telling y'all, but we get into it over the smallest thing, and we don't know how to talk things out. So we go days because of him without talking. And then we don't come back and talk about it. We just brush it under the table.
My problem with Cinnamon right now is, so out of 10 years, she hasn't worked, hasn't been cheated on. No woman came to her as a woman, no other baby, no other girlfriend. She got multiple cars, houses, ring, baby. I don't go out, I don't club, I do everything. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I do everything as the best as I can. You know what I'm saying? I do it proudly. That's my baby. So today, 9 months, my son 9 months, I haven't went nowhere. Been in the house with her. Only time I leave is to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been nowhere. Then my birthday, March 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Took a guys trip to Miami, what I do every year with my homies, March 19th through the 23rd. First time to kicking it since my son been born. Today she just, you out in Miami having fun. I'm stuck in the house with my son and blah. That triggered me really bad because I take care of family, I take care of home, I don't do nothing. My first time going out and she throw it in my face. I feel like that's disrespectful. You do everything to provide peace and you still saying help her find peace.
You're doing everything that you think should provide her peace, but you've got to dig a little bit more into what she needs to have more peace, because again, you're approaching it with logic, but people will die behind their convictions, what they believe. People are not
Man, hell no.
That's some bullshit.
Some women just don't like to see guys happy. Like if he's being truthful for what he's saying, like he hasn't been anywhere, he hasn't done anything, and she mad because he spent 3 or 4 days with his homeboys, but he been providing for you, he been doing everything that I'm assuming they talked about how he was going to provide for her, have kids, all these things that guys are expected to do, but she's still unhappy for 3 or 4 days. Like, I don't understand.
She's full of shit.
Very listen, very I thought about this for so long, and I just realized that some women are not happy with themselves, and some women don't have hobbies. They're just not this could go for both, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes people are just not interesting, regardless of what they're doing, where they're at. So now you're with this person, that's your fun. You're with this person, that's your peace. You're with this person every day, that's your confidant. This is the person that I get to confide in and do all of these things. And then when I'm left to my own brain cells, I'm left for 20 minutes to my own cognition, and guess what happened? Damn, where you at? Why you like it's that attachment style that just make you think that, yo, I'm not happy. What? Like I got so much shit going on outside of you still, and still be in the relationship to where I'm happy inside and outside of you because I'm doing the things that I want to do. Like, I know women that will literally stop talking to their family. They will literally stop doing anything that they want to do. Oh, I really like to do hair on the side, just so I can talk to people and they will stop soon as they get in a relationship and expect you to become everything that they had before you came into their life. And and at that time, and then they find out I'm just not that interested. Like when I'm left by myself, I cannot find a way how to entertain myself. Like, it just is what it is. I can go outside in my garage. I sit out there. I smoke a cigar. Have me an old fashioned. I can just kick back, and that's fun to me. You know what I'm saying? I can get on my game for an hour and just be like, all right, I ain't talked to my boys back home. Let me get on the game for a little while. And next thing you know, I'm laughing. We talking shit, talking about stuff we did. We grew up, and I'm good to go. Like, it don't take much. Then I got my daughter who about to graduate. Shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? But
Congratulations.
Hey, thank you, man. But then, like, I'm doing stuff with her. So, like, outside of you, I'm okay. So when we come together, I'm better. Like, I'm still good. You know what I'm saying? When you leave, like, of course, it's not like get out, but it's like, okay, boo gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see her again soon. And some people just be like, nah, that person gone. Hell no. Like you, like, come back, please. Like, no, I got shit to do. And also she was just ungrateful. Like, that woman is ungrateful, and the other girl who chimed in, I don't even know how she married either, because that's wild. That's just like that's that sisterhood shit right there.
Bullshit too.
Yeah, she what she said was just straight bullshit.
Yeah.
Let me ask you: is there more? Are we gonna see a part 2 of this? Is it more?
No, that's where it clipped off, and that's where I left it.
See, because one of the things I was thinking about. Listen, everything Frank said, everybody said is right on. The guy, I mean, I've heard this from other women too, and I've been married for a long time, and I don't know every so often, whether you should kind of have the conversation about, how things go. I don't know. I think it's easy for people to take you for granted if you do a lot of stuff. What you do for them, it starts out being, wow, this guy does a lot. So it's now I expect it. Now I can take it for granted, right? And I think that's what happens if you have any kind of relationship. So his wife is sitting next to him, and she didn't dispute anything he says. He's doing everything for her.
Right.
But then the other lady says, yeah, you're doing everything for her, but maybe that's not enough.
You gotta dig.
That's what she said.
That's not enough, because it's not how she wants you to do it.
Right.
And that's one of my major problems with a lot of modern women. That's why I'm glad I'm out of the market. Don't be telling me that nothing I do is good unless you determine how I do it.
Yeah, that's dumb.
I mean, get out of here. You're crazy. That's why listen, a man in a relationship with a woman, it doesn't work if it's on her terms. I'm not saying a woman can't have any terms, but if your relationship is based on a woman's term, it's a recipe for disaster. Because it's the woman who has to accept you as you are, because women will leave.
Yeah.
Men don't leave. We generally kind of don't leave, especially if you satisfy the basic things we need. But and women, if they're unsatisfied with you, they'll find a reason to leave. And my theory, I believe women don't need men until they do. Right. And I really believe that. And the point really is that if they don't find you useful, no matter what you do, useful to her, she's gone.
Hey,
that's what I believe that.
Our
And
pain.
that includes married women. My wife finds me useful, and
Yes.
and not because she's forcing it, because I think I serve something in her life that she's I don't want to use the words happy. Maybe she's satisfied with.
Yeah.
But she still wants more sometimes.
But look, Pain.
When I give it to her anyway. I'm a simp.
Right.
look, though, you a simp. No, I'm just joking.
He earned the right to be a simp. But go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. No, but I was gonna say you absolutely right. But and I would say to add on to that, it's just one of those things, man. Like when she chimed in talking about you're doing it the way that how do you know that? Like you're not even in my relationship. That's number one.
Yes.
But then number two, let's just say that I am, and my girl didn't tell me, hey babe, like I want to be loved this way, like, or I want to be loved that way, or this makes me feel appreciated. This is, if you do these things like this makes me feel good. Then she has to take accountability for that too. Cause if you just letting me love you the way that I think that I'm supposed to love you without you saying, hey, listen, this makes me feel loved.
One more thing that you're saying too, right? A lot of women will say, they want a lot of things, right? The lifestyle and this. And men, I don't know if we don't tell them, like, I have to work for that. I have to trade hours and dollars. I have to trade dollars for hours to get you what you want. And if you want me to come home on my one day off and play patty cake and all this shit when I'm tired as hell, you gotta tell me what you're willing to give up to get what you want, because I can't do it all like that. And it never comes down to that, because I've heard some women say, yeah, but working hard is not enough. You got to do all this other stuff.
Being a doctor ain't enough. What you talking about? You a doctor? That ain't shit.
That one girl said you ain't. He was a doctor, but he
had no ambition.
He had no ambition. Like, what? He didn't want to be a surgeon. Like, all right.
Like with that girl, did you see it? Remember that clip you played? I think it was last week or a week before, where the girl basically she got sick, and her boyfriend or husband was taking care of her, and she said that wasn't enough. Like she didn't feel appreciated. Like what?
Yeah, when can we go out now?
She said we ain't been on. She said, but we ain't been on a date since.
Stop working to take care of you while you were sick, and now he has to go back to work, and you want to feel appreciated. I mean, just from the woman's point of view, when women have babies, their identity is just changes. They go from a single woman or a married woman to now a mother, right? So their focuses are a lot different, and they're so drawn into the motherhood that they lose their identity. And a lot of women will tell you that. A lot of women will say, man, I for so long I didn't get dressed, I didn't do my hair, I didn't do X, Y, and Z. I'm getting used to this mommy role and schedules and feedings and everything underneath the sun that comes to motherhood, right? And I think that one thing that men don't do when they get into relationships, at least a lot of the men I know, like they don't stop doing the things that make them happy. Like if they have a routine, if they go to the gym or they go hang with their boys or they go to whatever the case may be, they don't stop doing those things because they get into a relationship. Those are the things that make them happy. Those are their extracurricular activities. Those are their hobbies. And that's one thing, like, and Sir was saying it, that's one thing women stop doing. It's like, okay, I'm with him now, so I'm gonna just stop going to the yoga class, child. Maybe I could just fit it in on another day or another schedule. It's supposed to be. And it's like, no, you have to still do the things that make you happy that have nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of women don't realize that until their child is, probably 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, in school, and now they have a little bit of breathing time, and now they can, get back to their art and to the things that they used to do before they were married or before they had kids. It's like, no, you have to continue to incorporate that into your schedule somehow, some way, because you don't want to deplete yourself and then look over to your husband and have this outrage or this jealousy or this, this attitude because he still gets to do the things that he likes to do. And honestly, he stopped doing those things. Like I said, men usually don't stop doing those things. He stopped doing those things knowing that I have a child now. I can't be, going out and doing X, Y, Z, but something like his birthday that's planned, something that he does every year, I'm pretty sure he said, you know what, let me just put a stop to everything until my birthday, because when my birthday comes around, I am going to, so this is something that's planned. This is nothing that gets her, that catches her by surprise, or, he just left in the heat of a argument or anything like that. No, this is something that you prepare for. I think women don't give women the proper advice when it comes to stuff like this. And my advice would be, you can't really, I think a lot of women also focus so much on a man when he leaves the house that they literally don't, everything else just doesn't matter. It's just not of importance. It's not relevant. Your thoughts are with him and where he goes and what he does. You have to, if you chose this person, then again, that daily choice of loving them means they okay when they're away, right? Like, like if you got to and try to be up their ass all the time, like no man wants that. So you have to find things to keep you busy. Now that you're a mother, find your communities. Y'all come together, make some cakes, make some onesies, like do things that now that this decision that you have made to become a mother, you got to engulf yourself in it while still being able to do things that make you happy individually.
Precious, I see 2 things wrong with this video. One, she doesn't have any friends because it's nothing to call your single bootleg friends. Girl, bring that bottle over here. My husband gone out of town. My baby in there asleep. I ain't got shit to do. Come through. We gonna get drunk, talk a little shit about the menses, and y'all can go on to the club, right? And 2, she don't like the kid. I'm sure nobody's mama here was complaining that their daddy went to work and did all, and they had to be stuck here with y'all. No, this is the selfishness of the women today. You gotta change. You ain't worked in how many years did he say? Come on, man.
He a
10
battle rapper.
years.
He's rich too.
She doesn't. It again, Frank. I think Frank said it. Find something to do. You can make your baby's clothes. You can be giving new mamas ideas on how to raise the slow baby, on how to bathe the baby. You can do all that shit online today. You know what I'm saying? You can hold the tight ass bond. They always putting these little tight ass rings on their head. Baby hot as hell. You know what I'm saying? They overdressing the baby. They think because they cold, the baby. Now the baby temperature 98.6. You know what I'm saying? We want to put the fake Jordans on the baby. Do that shit. That's what draw. You know what I'm saying? That bring, but the support. See, that's what I'm saying. We try to do it all by herself. I don't want. But this is, you. Hey, sisters, where my girls at?
Right.
Where the tribe at? But everybody wants to be selfish, and then she complaining about a man who take a few days with his boys and say, "I'll be back." You was out here having all the fun. I was stuck here with the slow ass baby. That's what she was saying. I don't like this baby because the baby look like you. But I may be reading too much into it. But still, it's your baby. It's a great bonding time. And then most women, I don't care, they do not have organizational skills at all. Motherfuckers ain't nothing in their drawer folded up, Frank. Ain't none of that shit military grade folded up. The refrigerator's out of order. The clothes, the wash clothes ain't folded up. A lot of them don't have organizational skills. I see it with my wife. I'm like, hold up, fold this shit up. Oh, I forgot. Don't fold it up. You know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy how when people can take advantage of the resources because they have respite care. Listen, they had it, but they don't act on it and they complain about it after the fact. You know what I'm saying? So it just amazes me, man. The man got you sitting up in the house doing nothing. That's why, listen, bro, she off that goddamn baby weight, put her ass back to work, tell her ass to be home, and you'll be all right. But this, you do, I ain't been out in a year.
I think one issue in their relationship, and she started
talking too much about it. That's the one problem.
Well, no, she said that they don't really have communication. They will probably get into something and then there is no recourse. Like they don't come back together to have the conversation about what it is that they were talking about. And somebody just said they divorced their spouse by many cuts, by way of many cuts or whatever the expression is, of not being able to express or have those conversations. It's one thing, you can't not appreciate a man who works. You can't not appreciate a man who does everything to take care of you so you don't have to do those things. But you also still, as a man, that doesn't mean that you should not communicate. You should not, be joining in healthy conflict conflict and resolving issues. Like it doesn't take you away from still in the home, and so I think that they both have issues in the relationship.
Well, stay right there, Precious. What do you think she's saying to him? Because it sounds like he said, he laid out what he does for her. It sounds like he says it a lot. What do you think she says that? What do you think that she wants from him that he's not giving her?
Probably some emotional
connection.
connection.
I'm asking a woman there because I don't know. You might have some. Because well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. 3M. It's some emotion. What would that be?
Right. Because if he's working all the time, like
I think it's more so, and I hate to say it, but it's almost like that girl that was like, I don't feel appreciated, even though she was totally out of line. I think that women always want to feel some type of validation, right? Everything that he's doing, he's almost validating himself for being this person that gets the opportunity to allow her to stay at home and not work and not have to lift a finger. And her role and her job in the relationship is to be a mom, to be a wife. And sometimes wives that are in that type of situation don't really feel as though they have a voice, no matter what the voice.
Let me add to that, right? So she could be thinking that whether I was here or not, you'd be doing the same thing.
Right. So, it's almost like, see me, how Mr. Lego always just say women are children, right? It's like, see me, feel me, I'm here. Like, I think that there is some truth to that. And I know a lot of women may not, I mean, you can't get with it, get lost. I don't know. But, I think that there is some truth in that. And as a woman, I feel like I can speak the truth. Like, I'm not trying to impress nobody. I'm not trying to gather more friends. I think that is the truth. A lot of women, we have this complex about us where it's just like, if we're not being heard, now we're going to do things that are, that's going to get us seen or that's going to get us heard, and it's not necessarily that a woman necessarily wants to do those things, but if she can't get through to our husband, or if he's not receiving, we're the receivers, you guys are the givers. And that's exactly how it goes in a relationship. But there are some things that women don't receive from men. And one of those things is non-communication. Women don't receive that a man can't communicate with her. Like you know how to communicate when it's time to get these draws. You know how to communicate when you hungry and you need me to feed you, or you want me to cook for you, So it's like, be able to communicate on those things that are not comfortable. I don't care if you are bringing in the money. I don't care if I don't have to lift the finger. That don't mean that we don't have to talk and be able to resolve issues. You know, you do get to go out and blow off that steam when you mad at me and go kick it with your boys, or not even kick it with your boys. You get to go to work. You get to get out of here. You get to get out of this environment. And that's why women need to have things that they like to do. You're getting out of the environment as well, because you staying in that environment is not going to do anything good for you or the child you're trying to raise, because you still carry that aura, that mist on you of unresolved issues. And so, you know, it's nothing to be able to acknowledge and validate what she's saying and say, you know what, I can he's triggered in this particular situation. And so it's going to be very hard and difficult for him to even acknowledge anything that she's saying, anything that she's going through, because in his mind, I have done everything that you wanted me to do. And the one time that I take the opportunity to do something that I like, that was planned, that's not just a spur of the moment, you know, something that just really doesn't make sense that you're, you know, feeling this way towards, because I actually watched that episode, not the whole episode, but when they got into it, because, you know, when folks arguing, you be like, dang, what we want to, you know,
what's the tea?
he was really triggered, and he wouldn't let up. Like this was actually a good piece of the clip, because he just like, I just don't understand, you know, and I kept saying in my head, like, why won't he get off of this? Like, he just will not get off of this point of her saying, and she's like, well, all I said was that you went to Miami. And he's like, yeah, but why you got to bring that up? Why you like, it was hostile.
That's true.
And I'm like, you know, I can understand why he feels triggered, because in his mind and his body, he was doing everything that she wanted of him. But in her mind and her body, there is a blockage, and she's not able to get through that blockage. And so the next best thing is to talk about the opportunities where he gets to be off by himself. Right? Because that's how, in her mind, she probably thinks emotionally, that's how you treat this. You're here financially. You may be here physically a lot of the times, but emotionally, you're somewhere else.
But is it also that she can't communicate? I mean, shouldn't she be able to communicate her problem better?
Right. Okay, but even if she did, he said that they don't have conversations. She said, we don't talk because of him. So if you can't force a person to communicate with you, you can't do that. If a person is not willing to do that, or if a person is not open to be vulnerable about whatever is going on or be uncomfortable in that situation, you can't necessarily force that. You literally wake up and do the same thing every single day, thinking that the drain is going to get cleared somehow. And it doesn't get cleared unless both people are willing to sit down and start the clearing.
But this happens all the time. At first I thought she was talking about, when she said, you know, we go days without talking sometimes, I thought she was saying like after an argument, like we get into a little tit, and then for, you know, we both being petty, we both don't want to be the first one to come to the table and all that, like shit like that happens. Like you walk right past each other in the house, like, but he has a point. Like, I can understand why, because I think sometimes women don't understand this either. Just how your man is. Like me, for instance, I don't go out a lot. Like, I probably go out with my homeboys, even my frat brothers. They always be like, bro, like, we just going to go eat. Like, I'm like, yeah, I know, bro. I'm chilling and I'm in the crib. I'm already set. Like, but then one time a year, I'm like, hey, come on, like, let's go to the cigar bar, bro. Well, you know, we'll go to the cigar bar, and then that shit will get brought up. Like, no matter how much stuff we done, you know, throughout the year, if I didn't do something when you wanted to do it at this point in time, and I'm like, man, no, like, and I want to relax this weekend, right? Now it's like, okay, but then 2 weeks later, I'm like, you know what, man, I ain't been out. I ain't had no time. I ain't been out. I ain't seen my frat brothers in a while. You know what, y'all? Hey, man, y'all want to go to the cigar bar? That shit will get brought up. It'll be like, but when I asked you to go somewhere, you didn't want to go. Like, when I asked you to go on a date, you didn't want to go. Or if I asked you to spend time, you didn't want to go. No matter what we've been doing all the way up until this time. You know what I'm saying? It could have been 10 dates.
So that means that that's not the issue. That's not the real issue. Like,
But
you gotta take a step back and say, okay, you know, if I asked you about wanting to go somewhere and you didn't want to go, and now you're getting mad at this, like, you have to take a step back and say, is that really the issue? Us going somewhere? I was listening to someone the other day, and he said the best way to stop an argument, end an argument, is, you know, let your spouse say whatever they got to say to you, and then you say to them, so what is it that you need from me? You don't say, yeah, but you did this a week ago, or yeah, but look at what I just did for you, and you mad at da, da, da. Simply say, so what is it that you need from me?
I get that, but that don't make.
What are you asking of me, or what is it that you need me to understand right now in this moment? Because now it's like, let's get down to the truth of the matter. Let the rubber hit the road. Like, what's
Right,
up?
right.
You know
No,
what I
but
mean?
I get that.
Going back and forth about what you do, what I do, what I don't do, what you don't do. Is what exactly are you, you know, and don't say what you mad at. Like, you know, what's the real reason? You know, what exactly do you need from me right now? Because I do believe that I'm providing everything that we agreed upon. So what am I not understanding that
But
you need?
that's the point I think she can't articulate. I think she can't articulate what she needs from him. Not because he doesn't talk. I just don't think she's articulating exactly what she needs from him.
Or she's saying, it in the wrong way. You know,
She's
she
not saying
like
it at all.
No,
what I'm saying is, like, you know, some people, they will just start coming at you with multiple things and being aggressive, you know, instead of saying, hey, can we sit down and talk? You know, I noticed that we are disconnected and I want to see, you know, what the disconnect is. And then you start talking. You don't just like bring 8,000 things at once and then expect them all to be resolved at that
But
time.
Preston said it the right way. What is it that you, if you could ask a question from someone, I talk to my wife, what do you need me to do? And I find sometimes I gotta drag shit out of her, man.
Right.
No, so what do you? I say, okay, what do you need me to do? This way, there's no pretense. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying anything extra because I like that. That's because I think I've used that before. Because I want her to tell me exactly what she wants me to do.
Right.
If she can. If she can't, then we have a different kind of problem. Because now you want me to be a miracle worker and shit. Right.
That's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, so those are the kind of things I've been through, that kind of stuff. And when you finally get some out, I said, well, I can do this. Or, you know, and then I might get like, you know, from time to time, well, I know you don't want to do it. I said, how you know I don't want to do it if you don't tell me what it is.
But look,
you know what I'm saying? We've gotten into those kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, so don't presuppose you know what my response is going to be. You know, that kind of stuff. I mean,
but it's
being married for a long time makes you some kind of armchair counselor.
I'm dead. Yeah. No, but in that situation, if when you're you're asking these questions, this is what she's making it about. So like him, he's saying like, I don't understand why you're upset because I'm doing this, we're doing this, we've been together this whole time. The one time that I do something opposite, you bring it up. The one time that I do something opposite, you bring it up. So then, but this whole time, you've been good, you've been happy. Now, and then when we come to the table to talk about this issue, all you can say is you go out with your friends, as if this is something that he's been doing the whole time.
No, but
that's what I'm
wasn't
saying.
Happy though. She was cosplaying. She wasn't happy. So she took the one thing that he found pleasurable to do, and she made that the object of. It's like a not a boomerang. It's like it's not the real reason why she's mad.
Right. That's
so
not
you don't think she was happy with them with them taking care of the baby?
No. She's
him being there and all that.
Is she understands what he's doing, but he's thinking everything is going okay because she's not arguing. But she still has that shit she's not articulating. And so when he takes his beauty trip, when he takes his glamour trip, she knows she can get a rise out of him by making that an issue. And that's why why is that an issue? Because she's still not telling him exactly what she needs from the guy.
Right.
So she'll use that as the football, and she knows it's going to trigger him into some kind of response. And she thinks that maybe somehow out of this response we'll get an answer. But no, I like what you said, President. Tell me exactly what you want me to do. Now, he doesn't know. He's not astute enough to say that to her.
Yeah. And what they say, keep living, you learn something. It's and the caption on that video said something like every marriage or every relationship or something like, what did it say? How every marriage is, right? And every and always, never, those extreme words get used to sensualize these.
But like I said, I think sometimes, and this is a man thing, but I'm not trying to play blame, because it could be a woman's thing too. But if you're in tune with your spouse and you pick up the variation, you take the what you call it, the disturbance in the force.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys can feel it and some guys can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it. It's a long time. When you be with anybody for a long period of time, you'll pick up shit, because humans are strange. We got kind of connections with each other if you're wide open, and sometimes you don't have to say a word.
Mm-hmm.
So I could feel the disturbance in the force. So, but like I said, when we talk, I usually have to make my wife feel comfortable enough that anything she tells me is not going to go into some kind of blazing argument, because I really want to know. And she knows I'm asking this way, so if I can fix it, I will. And so, I mean, it's not too many times we do that, because I'm such a great husband. You know what I'm saying? So we don't really go down that path so often, but still.
And I think that women have to be ready for most men just want to get to that solution, because that's what you guys do. You solve problems, and so women have to be more ready than they are. Like, women like to sulk in the issue, right? We just like, well, it's me, and we're going to drag this on for like 3 days, when a man is asking you on that day, like, what can I do to make this better? Like, women got to have that thinking time period, and let me sit with this, type of, like, I'm that way, and I think that even part of my personality is like, okay, like, snap the hell out of it, like, you know what I mean, like, get it together. If somebody's coming with a solution right away, it's like, get on board and get with the solution, no matter if you're still feeling a certain type of way, because if you never put one foot in front of the other, they're going to be stuck by each other's sides if you never can put one foot in front of the other. And so I think that a lot of times women, sometimes we can't get out of our own way, like you said. Can she articulate what she's really trying to say to him? Can he really be a problem solver other than dishing out money, going to work, being a great father? Like, those things are great, but it does take a little bit more than that. It takes knowing how to, like you said, Arpane, you and your wife have a knowing, like you dwell with each other in knowledge, and so sometimes you don't have to say anything for you to know something is a little off here. And so then you approach the situation of, well, what do you need from me? How can I make this better? A lot of men don't even say those words. It's just like, I go in, I go out here and work, and like, what more do you want from me? Tyrese type of energy. And it's like, you could twist those words around a little bit more and say, what exactly do you need me to like, how do you need me to be here for you? How do you need me to be the solution? And I think, sometimes the way that things are worded, and I know a lot of men are like, don't worry about how it's worded, worry about the message and things like that. But you do have to remember that you're dealing with a woman, and you chose to deal with a woman. You ain't choose to deal with a man with balls in the sack. Like, that's not what that's not what you're supposed to deal with. So sometimes you gotta, just like women know how to sway men and how to make them move without, saying do this, do that. Men can do the same thing. Exhibit 1 was the video of the man saying, "Oh, you decisive. Give her balloon back. We're gonna work on this, because I know you want me. I want you. So let's work on this. Let's do this together. And if I gotta take the lead in that, and if I gotta, if I gotta make you feel safe and secure in that, then I'm willing to choose to do that on a daily basis. Right? That's what you're choosing to do. Leaders choose to take the lead even when it doesn't make them look like a great leader, because leaders aren't going to always have the answers. That's why they have teams. That's why they delegate. That's why they have people doing things for them, because they're not going to always have all the answers. So I think that, while women do need to, shake the funk a little sooner, I think that men could do a better job at, not always seeing the solution as something that they're currently doing, but something that they can do in the moment. And that's just ask simple questions. And then, if she's still not able to answer your questions, don't add fuel to the fire. Because that's another thing too. When men get, like Art Payne said, men do get in their emotions, and women sometimes don't know how to take that kind of masculinity, so they retreat and they don't say what they got to say, and they don't express what they want to express. They get a little scared, because it's like, okay, like we were just slobbing each other down a week ago, and now you done turned into somebody I don't even recognize. I don't even know if I'm safe to even, tell you what's going on with me. And so I think that there's a happy medium, and I think that everybody can get to that happy medium. But these are just things that if you're not taught, or if you're not, if like I said, if I didn't come across that video, that wouldn't be a tool that I now have in my tool belt to say, okay, like, what is it that you need from me? I'm not going to fuel the fire. I'm not going, add insult to injury or go tit for tat with you. We're just gonna, try and solve this issue right here and right now. And if I can't tell you what I need from you right now, I need to be honest and saying, honestly, I don't even know how to express to you what I need right now. Maybe we, need a little bit of space. And if it's okay, we agree to come back at a certain time that it's agreed upon, that we can then have this conversation. You just, continue to try to not separateness. Are you hearing any of that? Were you with us?
I don't know what's going on with my internet, but I can hear everything that you're saying. I can hear everything you're saying.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Is that the last video for the night?
No, we have one more.
Okay.
Which is she was a content creator, from what I know, from what I've seen on these internet streets, but she was on a podcast talking about her most current relationship, which is actually her husband. And, she's describing her experience, and it sounds like somebody was in the friend zone, but I want to see.
I think I know what you're talking about
what
too.
you guys think. Now, keep in mind, this video is not the audio, is not the internet, it's the quality of this video. This is just how it was recorded and how it has been posted. So I'm sorry in advance for the cackling.
Let's see if I know who you're talking
12.
about. I know who you're talking about.
He said, you need to let that man go. I said, do you get what you're telling me? Like, again, like, do you understand what you're telling me? He said, fuck that nigga. I said, excuse me? Like, do you understand what you're saying? Like, you're saying let go of a man that's marriage minded for you because you're ready for commitment. He said, like I said, fuck that nigga. And I was like, oh, okay. So the very next day, I sent a message and I let that man know.
Wait, you cut the man off before you got the ring?
Yeah.
Because he said, oh no, girl.
Oh no, it gets crazier.
Did you guys have?
That was August 12th. I let go of the dude. And then August 18th, we got married.
Wait, 6 days later?
August 18th. He called my dad somewhere in there, asked him for permission to marry me. My whole family knows him. All my friends know him. His mama, when he called his mom and said, Mom, I'm getting married. She said, to who? Sarah? Anybody that he told, everybody was like, to Sarah? When I was like, I'm getting married, they were like, to who? Like, which one of them? But I was like, to Brock. And when I tell you, my parents are so happy because Brock is like, he's a husband already,
All right. So, Mr. Brock. Sorry.
Yeah.
plug this.
She went through this again on a podcast called. She has a podcast called the Giving Podcast,
Okay.
and she went through this story sitting down with Cam Newton, and it's real clear. So if you ever go to the Good Giving Podcast, she has some good stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw this then. But I had some issues because it was real clear, and she had a little bit more conversation about the two dudes,
Okay.
Brock and the guy that she was seeing as his competition. And me being a man, I'm saying, she's banging them both, right? But that's not necessarily true, but that's where my head went. And Brock knew about him because he was in the friend zone. So he was the one not getting any. Well, let me put it that way. He wasn't getting any, but the other guy had to be because she was getting ready to marry him. Right? Because, and so Brock said, look, listen, I'm your guy. He's seeing her getting ready to slip away. He was in the friend zone for years. That's why he knows her whole family. And he was going to let her get away because he wasn't, I guess to me, either he didn't make it clear to her that, she shouldn't have any other choice than him. So she was getting ready to marry another dude. And then somehow, I don't know where the revelation came from her to go with this guy, Brock. But, I'm saying, if I was Brock, I would feel some kind of way knowing that when she's not with me, somebody else is sniffing the drawers and all that kind of stuff. And she comes over back to me. And then I chose her and she told that guy, hey, go away. Now, I believe her that she's not fooling around with that other guy no more. I believe. But it's just kind of weird, that kind of competition. I mean, I guess every man might be in some kind of competition if you don't know the other guy. But if I knew the other guy and I know a woman is bouncing between me and three other guys, I don't know. I said, no, I'm every time I kiss you, I'm thinking that was this thing there or not? I don't want to know those things. But she's really good. She is really good in her articulation, and her podcast is pretty good. So, but anyway, yeah, I've seen her before, and I guess she made the right choice. And here's the thing, it's funny. I don't want to say this. My daughter has a guy that she's friends with my oldest one since grammar school.
Mm-hmm.
They're still buddies. I said, how come you ain't marrying this guy? I said, I like him. I know this dude, what else is out there? I know he protect you. He said, oh, dad, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, dad, my ass. What's out there? This dude, he's Spanish. I know her mother loves you and all that kind of stuff. But, he's got to be the guy I picked, Oh, that's enough of that. Anyway, I like to, so, I don't know, getting back on the subject. What's the question with this girl? Did she do the right thing, or was she using the man, or what?
Like, Real Black Lexicon says she would only give it to a guy who is marriage minded.
Oh, every man is marriage minded if it means I can get some buns.
So, my thing is when I saw this video, it's like you were in motion to marry someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're literally in motion to marry someone. And it took for someone that was in the friend zone for a long time for your family to know who he is. Was she waiting on him to be ready and still was out here dating and entertaining other men? And when he came back and said, you know what, I'm ready, leave this guy alone, was that her mindset? Because how do you just leave someone that is marriage minded, that is in motion to put a ring on your finger and marry you? And in 6 days, you tell him you good, and now you gone with the childhood friend. Again, you say men get emotional, and I wouldn't want a man to act irrational or out of emotion when he gets broken up with, and nor does the woman think that that's her problem, once she's done with him. But at the same time, it just makes it seem like, if you know what you want, as a woman, it's like, do you stop dating and wait for the person that you actually want, or do you continue to date and there be a possibility that you're gonna break somebody's heart because now you get what you wanted? Because it sounds like you wanted Brock all along.
Yeah, but she knew Brock all along for a long time, right?
Well,
And
she had to also know that he wasn't marriage minded at some point, because why?
Wait, but he was in the friend zone, correct? So she don't know whether he was married, you know, was he marriage minded to her or not, right? Because if he's in the friend zone, what difference does it make if you are marriage minded?
Right, but now all of a sudden you're ready. So what?
There was a communication there somewhere when I think Brock found out that she was ready to jump with this other guy, and
that doesn't make a man ready just because.
Hold on. Loss will make a man do something. Yeah, if she married that guy, then that whole friend zone relationship either stops completely or is gone. So he saw the possibilities of a woman like her going away and getting married to somebody else, because she said it. If you don't come through, I'm going with that guy. So it sounds like she said that. If you play it back, it sounds like she said that. So Brock says, "Nah, hell with that dude. I'm here, and I'll marry you." You know, and it's like they didn't have to go through. I think they've been courting all along in the friend zone, because it seems like he's been around their family for years.
Oh,
man, he been
knocking
out.
They all knew that, you know, he wanted to marry her, and
so a long courtship wasn't necessary.
Has no idea.
But a long courtship wasn't necessary with him.
He been knocking
had all
off
of those conversations. He might have been like my man. Coach said he's been hitting it too. He
been hitting it.
There's something. The timeline to me is just something is off about it. You know, I'm not mad at somebody to go get your woman. You know, but at the end of the day, it's, you know, to me it seemed like they both were marriage minded. One of them couldn't have been that much marriage minded because he hadn't married you. But
they even having some hunting dates.
But he didn't have the threat of her being lost forever either.
Right.
Oh, so as long as you don't get married to somebody,
that made him move.
Yeah, because she allowed him to play that game.
She made it clear to him, if you ain't coming through, I'm marrying that guy.
But listen, man, let's say what it is, man. She even said it. The family's like, you get married to who? What? You finally giving up your stable of simp ass niggas out here? That's what she said. That the family was like, who? What? You settling down? Yes, because she's reaching 40 like a lot of women, and she was going for the safe choice because she knew Brock was slanging that thing all around. He been knocking it. So now the family knows you, Brock. Would you marry me? I don't really want to marry him.
If your name is Brock, you got to be hitting a lot of
So things. Would you please just marry me? And listen, man.
Some stuff, man.
I just, you know, she called out who she was. She's moving in her light skin era.
Oh yeah,
and she's choosing
nice woman, though, man.
Because she let a good man. Listen, we don't. Apparently, if she was going to marry a guy, he was at least a good guy. I'll just say that.
I think so.
And the fact that you tell him you don't want him, and then you go to a dude that's already been in the family, he been knocking that off the whole time. She weighed her options. And then Brock was realizing, like, oh, I can't get that ass no more. I'll marry you.
That's right.
And she had to really like Brock too. You know, again, women are not really going to make moves unless they truly and really.
And she know how Brock was moving. Brock was hitting her and a few others, and she knew that.
So I'm wondering if she's thinking that her life with the guy that she was going to marry wouldn't have fulfilled her. But my thing is, why waste your time and be in the relationship in the first place?
Because he got that money. She got that money. We act like this is new. People been doing. They got the one dude that take them out to eat. I'm gonna get a doggy bag. Then I'm gonna call 3 a.m. over when he dropped me off.
Here's my thing though with her. See, I think she's a woman who's comfortable in her own skin because I think she has her own money.
Yeah.
right? And she doesn't need a guy. She'll probably want the traditional shit, but she doesn't need a guy to take care of her that way. So that wasn't a factor with the guy. She wanted to be married. I think she wanted to be married more than I wanted the security and all that other horse shit we keep talking about. She wanted to be somebody's wife, and that guy was willing to do it.
Yes.
And Brock, he was saying, if she marries that guy, Brock knew that his dynamic with her would be completely.
That's what Brock did right there. He did like that.
I gotta get that finger, Brock. Brock said, "Wait a minute, man.
One over one more time.
This guy, man, he could go find some other woman. You mind?" I mean, that's what I think. So at first I said, "Man, who is this chick? She's arrogant, but." I watched a couple of her podcasts. She did, just a sidebar. She wears a lot of makeup, and some of the ladies challenged her to take her makeup off on screen, right, on live. She actually didn't look an inch different than she did with her makeup. She looked like I wake up like this.
Mm-hmm.
Said,
I seen that video. That was wild.
Yeah, man, I wake up like this. That's kind of funny, man. I'm crazy. My wife is, she's pretty, but she ain't walking like a 10. But part of my criteria is when she wakes up, I can't be screaming. When she wakes up and I see her in the morning, if I'm screaming, that's not a good deal. So I'm pleasantly surprised when she smiles, wake up, so, you're still pretty and shit. I turn into Shrek, but she's still pretty. Shit. Anyway, but no, I like that video. I mean,
so would you give your daughters that advice if your daughter was on the road to marrying a man and there's this, the guy that you like that likes her mom likes him, but she's on the road to marry someone else? Would you tell her to leave the man that she is currently with to be with someone that says, you know what, I want to marry you? Leave that man.
Well, let me tell you this. If she was on the road to marry somebody already, I'd be happy just with that. Right? But if she has a choice of two guys, then, I'm not going to pick it for her, especially if I think both the guys are okay. Because that choice will be hers. I just would be happy that she's getting married.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Really, you know what I'm saying? So, but again, she's living in this time with everybody else. So she's got to swim in the pool with the sharks like everybody else. And hopefully she'll get blessed. But, other than that, she's going to have to learn how to take care of herself. I just say, hey, you got to learn how to take care of yourself. You don't get married, you're going to be doing this shit till you're 60-something years old, 70, 80.
Right. Is marriage really the goal, or being able to, live a lifelong?
Well, we got to assume that you marry somebody that you're compatible with and you get along with. Two heads are better than one. We didn't make up that.
Right.
That's not a new font for now. If you got a good guy and you're a good woman, life should be that much easier together.
Yeah.
Even if life is hard, it's still better together than by yourself.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the only thing I would tell her. I said, listen, I don't want you to get married because of some lovey-dovey shit. I'm just saying, it's practical. And now we have partnerships and partnership agreements and shit like that. So you can even do that. But being alone ain't no good for a man, and definitely ain't no good for women, even though women are saying how great it is being alone. It's great. So I don't think so, but that may be the chauvinist in me, so.
No, we were created to be connected,
I think so.
Who says that they're okay being alone is lying to their human nature in some way, shape, or form, because you weren't even created like that. That wasn't even the plan for you. So, if you're trying to make that your own plan, you're not really going to get far. It's not going to be fulfilling. You're not going to live in a
It's got to be in your head. It's got to be something that's conscious choice, and you got to somehow see in the future. Like as a married man, you know, the truth about men and the way we like to have multiple women and all that kind of stuff, that shit doesn't go away. I feel like a lot of times I'm like a priest with benefits, right? Because at least I can have sex, right, with somebody, right? So, you know, but forsaking all others, right, other women, it really is not as hard as people try to. It's really not that hard. It really well, yeah, pause. You know, pause. But it really isn't. It really wasn't over the years. I mean, you know, you have a little bit of stuff before you get married, but you know, I think every man who says they need to have so many different women, I think that I think there's I don't want to police anybody, but I think it's not as natural as you think. Right? At some point, you know, you got to be satisfied because there's nothing new under the sun. How many different doors you're going to open up, and what else you think you're going to find? And that's why we see all these guys get into trouble.
Yeah.
Right? Getting, you know, leaving bitter women behind is bad mojo. It's really bad mojo leaving a lot of bitter women behind. So I don't know.
Agree. Coach Fergie still with us?
Yeah, he's there. He's got his Aristotle look on, man. I think he's like you can freeze. You think he's freezing this thing? What you got, Coach, on the subject? Oh man, yeah, you're on mute. Yeah, go ahead.
I said my stuff be freezing, man. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? You've been freezing in some really aristocratic poses, man.
I know, man. I can hear y'all though.
Yeah.
But I've just been freezing up, man. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. I guess again, I keep saying it, man. The prime age for Black America, niggas are scared to be in a relationship. Niggas are scared to build and blaming everybody but themselves. We talk it. Listen, man. I don't understand it. I've been listening around, man. Listen, man. Something gonna have to give sometime at some point soon. Because the kids is lower self-esteem. The future don't look bright for us as a unit. It look real bleak. And the ones that I think that have the opportunity to carry the future, a lot of y'all not equipped to be alone anyway. They're not equipped. As long as America keeps making it comfortable, then they go try to make it work. But in reality, America ain't the same America as it was.
Are they making it? Is America really making it comfortable? I don't think it's comfortable.
They have made it, but those days are over.
Over, yeah, for sure.
And people don't really realize it because we're focused on who's worse, men or women. To me, all the crack babies are struggling. I just focus on that generation because those are our kids when the worst destruction amongst ourselves was happening. I was a teenager when they told us we wasn't gonna make it. Then I saw brothers started deleting brothers on the street. I saw women started getting hooked on drugs, mothers, leaving the kids to being vulnerable to whoever. People turning in their babies. At least it used to be if you didn't want your baby, your grandmama or auntie took care of the baby. They just started giving them to strangers. And then we expect those people to have normal lives, normal outcome. When most people don't come to understand it until they damn near 40 years old. Like, oh, my life was fucked up. Yeah, but you can do something about it. Those that do, over time, will have a better outcome with what they create. Those that don't, this is America. At some point, you have to be willing to face that. And as long as people keep running from it, I've seen it 1,000 times over. I don't speak based off what I feel. Like I say, fuck my feelings. My feelings don't matter when it comes to the world. I've worked with these people. Young, old, light-skinned, dark-skinned, tall, short, all that. Those that run from it struggle the most. Those that face it and face it head on, they seem to have a breakthrough moment. And here we are in the middle of that time where those babies are now adults. Y'all don't want to get married, but guess what black people been doing? Go keep doing. When the slow kids grow up, guess what they gonna be doing? Busting nuts, making more slow babies. And until we find a way to sort of bring back some type of normalcy to being adults, taking on our responsibility, admitting black folk, I'm rambling, but now we hate to admit that we wrong. We ain't gonna admit we wrong. I don't care if Jesus walked up. That ain't Jesus. That's a meme. That's a AI. But again, it's a great time for those who are intentional about where they're trying to go. People may not see it because we look at what everybody else got and be like, why we can't live rich? See, Precious, most women want to live in your background. They just want to pull up in your background, and that's where they want to live. But listen, this thing is bigger than I think it's bigger than us who's trying to solve the problem. But I look at reality. I don't know if people look at the world, but America ain't gonna be the same America in the next 5 years. And it's gonna be tough for people to think that they can do it by themselves forever. AI is coming in 2028. I go to the base every week, every other week, and that's all they're talking about, how the AI is coming. When the military gets AI, the world gets AI.
Well, listen, AI is not going to be the biggest biggest problem we have, to tell you the truth. But I hear you though. So are we? I got to go to bed. Mom's in there, wife's in there. Final thoughts. Was that too hard on a woman on Monday? Was that too hard on?
No.
We do I
don't think so.
Yeah, we did a live.
I didn't listen to the whole thing. I was cooking and got a phone call, so I didn't listen to the entire thing. But a lot of women don't like my views that I have towards women. I'm not saying that I'm better than any woman or anything like that, but I think that we have to, in order to be real with ourselves, we have to look at reality. We have to deal with what's in the moment, in the present moment. We have to, also think about the future and what the outcomes will look like if we make some of the decisions that we make. And so, being a woman who have gone through, some things, I can speak from experience saying, we make some dumbass decisions sometimes and think that, we shouldn't be held accountable for them, or that, the world should bend to our every need and our every want. And, that we don't have to, like I said, be accountable. And I think as women, we getting on these social media streets, accountability is just one thing that I just did not see on the panels that I was on. It's your fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. It's okay to point out behaviors, but when everything becomes the other gender's fault, there's no way you can come to a happy medium of trying to work things out when you're so hell bent on making it their fault and not seeing your fault in the issue as well. And I think with me, like I try my best to, not only see where things went wrong, but where did I allow them to go wrong? What decisions did I make that weren't conducive to the situation? And so I didn't think that your commentary was too harsh. But sometimes, like I feel like for women, like if you can't listen to commentary like that, don't go somewhere where you can receive the help that you need for the decisions that you're making. Just because you can't watch one person's content doesn't mean that there's not something out there for you. Or maybe you just need to invest in yourself and really go see the therapist, go see somebody that got that doctor that can show them credentials, because we're not licensed anything up here. We give our time and our resources,
opinions and stuff,
and opinions, right, to help further the conversation. But if you truly need help, these YouTube streets is not where you should be. I'm telling you.
No, well, that's true.
They're really not.
I was just like I said, even back here, I'm trying to try to see things from both sides a little bit more. Even though I'm always gonna lean on the guy's side, but I'm starting to hear some of the ladies, trying to make the commentary. It won't be down the middle, but I mean, everybody has two sides to stories, and then there's the truth. And we can't get anywhere if we're just screaming at each other. And so I see a lot of panels, and I look at them. I say, man, every panel is kind of, gets into those same kind of arguments, and you never move forward.
Yeah, it's exhausting, and then you don't go anywhere. You don't, you done spend about an hour and a half disrespecting each other, yelling. No one's really getting their point across. No one's really asking the probing questions that's going to come to a resolution. You want to ask probing questions that's going to continue to point the finger.
Yeah. What's the nugget that we get out of this thing? I think you gave one. Both parties. What exactly do you want me to do?
And talking about timing of relationships, I think that you're able to get through the timing and in a elegant way. You're just direct and asking your significant other, your spouse, your boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever the situation is, what exactly is it that you want from me right now? Because at the end of the day, I chose to show up. So if I'm choosing to show up, I also have to be a student. I can't always be the teacher. And I think for men, it's okay to be a student. Yes, we look at you as the leader, and we're going to always look at you like that. But being a leader means you got to be a student too. Like, leaders got to go to conferences, and they got to sit through meetings and team meetings and all of that stuff. At some point, leaders have to be students, and they have to be able to listen to those that they have delegated certain tasks to push the business forward or push the agenda forward. And in any relationship, I think that should be the common ground. Where can I be? I'm not a leader right now. I'm a student. Let me sit down at the desk, and what exactly is it that you need of me? And if you can't communicate that right now, is tomorrow at 8 p.m. a better time for us to come and have this conversation? Yes or no? Like, it has to be clear, concise answers and truth given. Because you can't really operate outside of truth either. You can't push anything forward outside of truth. And so that, being honest with yourself, I always say be real with yourself so you can be real with everybody else. And I'll live and die by that, because if I can't be real with me, there's no way I should be in your face trying to say anything to you. It's just not even going to sit right with me. So we're going to do final words, and then we're going to get up out of here. It was a great show. Sorry for the technical difficulties, y'all. You just never know.
It's all good. It's all good.
Final thoughts? Are you stuck?
No, I'm not stuck. I don't know. It's good conversation. I think the Sarah lady's full of crap. I think she's gonna end up regretting that, because like Coach said, like, that guy's been banging her down for years. That's why the family like her. That's why the family like him. He around. He in their presence. They know about him.
Or don't let them get into an argument, child. Everybody's gonna be like, but Brock, I know Brock would never.
Yeah. I mean, when you do stuff like that, it comes back to bite you. It may not be right now, but it will be in a time.
Which one's getting bitten, him or her?
Either one.
You think? Okay, so you think something was wrong in that whole transaction?
Yeah.
Something's off.
Yeah, like why all of a sudden he wants to marry her? Like,
I guess you got the same kind of issue there, Press. Yeah, okay, I hear you. I didn't mean to interrupt your final.
And I don't wish any bad on anyone's relationship. This is for conversation and entertainment purposes. But something is off, especially because of her content and how like you said, self-assured she is, and how she's very confident, and so the backtrack got us like, hold up now, what's the backtracking for? You know what I mean? And of course everybody has a decision to make, but it was kind of like, oh, you right now? All right, cool. I'll tell him to hit the road, Jack. I'll do that for you. And it's like somewhere down the line, you're bending for him where at some point you were ready and he wasn't willing to do that or wasn't ready to do that for you. So now are you meeting each other in the middle?
Yeah, it's 3 F's. This
Like,
is my
it'd be
final
one thing if
point.
she was straight up single. Like, you know what I mean? It would be one thing if she wasn't in motion to.
Tells me she didn't like that guy that much.
What
She was willing to
That's
marry him.
obvious.
She was
That's
willing
obvious.
to marry him, but she didn't like him that much. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. She just wanted to be married.
Yeah, but liking someone that you know for so long is a natural thing. Like if I've known someone like your daughter, she likes this guy that she's known for a long time. Now, romantically,
Not romantic, but she likes him. Yeah.
you got to be spending time with somebody to say, yeah, I'm gonna not marry him and I'm gonna marry you. There has to be invested, mutual companionship.
On her conversation with Cam Newton, it was a little clearer. That's why I have a little bit more information than what she said there. She spent a lot of time with this Brock dude in so-called platonic, dinners, talking, family. Listen, man, he's been in her intimate settings. She knows about him and her, and he wasn't talking about something permanent like marriage at all. So this seems to me it was a friends with benefits situation going on.
Yeah.
And then
how was he being vetted?
But in the meantime, she had this other guy who's marriage minded. He probably had all kind of accolades and credentials,
resources.
And she was going to say, "Listen, you know what? I don't need to be in love right away. I can fall in love with this guy once I'm under his cover." There's some women who could do that, by the way. And so I'm just thinking she was going to marry this dude that she didn't like as much, but she would got what she wants. And I would imagine, as much as modern women do, she'll give him a little nookie here and there when she feels like it, and somehow be in control of that situation. But I think with Brock, she's on the other side of that. I think he's in control of that situation, which is the way I think it should be. I think she made the right choice.
You think so? I don't think so. I think
you think she should have married the other guy.
Yeah, I mean,
when you had so many, if you friends with benefits, you're seeing things through a different lens than when you're like, you know what, I need a guy that's good for me. He's marriage minded. He may have the resources, like Coach Ferg says. And you're going into it. You're both going into it, to grow the future and build with each other.
That's what I think they're trying to do. I think
sounds good.
He got married. He got marriage minded when he figured that whole spricket was going to go away. When it was getting ready to go away.
Is that a qualifier for marriage? I guess so, for men.
For men.
I mean, when she wasn't going to be swinging from the chandelier anymore.
She would have. She just. I think she gave him an ultimatum.
That's exactly what it was.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't marry me, I'm gonna marry this guy, right?
That's right.
And Brock understood the play.
Box will be closed to you.
Yeah.
From now on.
Access denied.
I don't think it would have been closed permanently, but at least 6 months,
But she got sick of
that. Yeah, it would have been 6 months because you're gonna have an argument or disagreement. Now she's going out with her girls. Next thing you know, Brock got a been over he's backseat of the Jeep. But it's just unfortunate. So, hey man, listen, man. My final word, listen, man. I don't know, what the future holds for you single people out there. I'll say 30 and over. But you got to protect yourself. You got to protect yourselves, man. Don't be assuming that if a woman say she pregnant, that's your baby. Get her DNA. Definitely get her DNA. And if you know she's cheating, you definitely get a DNA. And same thing goes for women, man. Y'all know who these niggas are. Y'all know who they are. Don't act like, oh, he pulled the wool up. No, you know exactly who he is. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what to say no more, man. It's just getting redundant because You're talking about people who should be moving more maturely in a sense. You should have gotten it out of your system, man. But people are choosing to be more reckless. We see it. Sexually transmitted diseases at an all-time high from young and old. So everybody out here busting it open, being nasty.
Well,
but you gotta protect yourself, man. You know, so I don't know, man. You know, I don't know what to say, Precious. You know, say he's just a friend. Yeah, that was a song back in the 80s, right?
That's right.
So he's a friend, all right, but when but those things still apply. And shout out to the light-skinned women, man, and man, we winning, man. We got them brown skins nervous over her. They crying about us.
I
don't know what to say.
Anyway, so
Thank you.
we cut you off there, my man 3 a.m. I don't know if we finished, but I don't have too much to say. We said it was a good panel. I appreciate it. So
yeah, always good.
I think I was real fair to the ladies tonight. So. I'm growing at 95 years old. I'm still growing.
Oh my God,
still growing.
95. Whoa.
He's not 95. He's not 95.
Long cruise.
Well, y'all know what I say. Be real with yourself so you can be real with others. That will always be my final and closing words. I appreciate everyone who watched tonight, engaged, and some, comments in the chat. The conversation was flowing so good. I didn't even highlight anything really like that, but I appreciate you guys for, watching. If you're a part of the replay gang, let us know in the chat below. If you have not hit the like button, definitely hit the like button. Of course, if you'd like to support.
Jumps upon the scene with the lean and a pocket full of green. The green doesn't symbolize I made it on the top, but RoboCop last year was a shock. The tone of the Popeye crib shook your butt. Kids are screaming, the media says what? Kind of music is this for you to dance to? The man with the plan and the band demands you. Leave the smack and the crack, throw the whack, throw the ball and the knock with a smile like that. Leave the knife and the gun.
All right, guys, and we're going to get up out of here. Thanks again for showing support. And until next time, again, be real with yourself so you can be real with others. We will see you.
Good night.
See you later.